Injuries as you get older, they increasingly become an occupational hazard. She had knee and back problems last year.
All right, guys, welcome to the stream. Good evening, welcome everybody to the stream. Today we've got Brighton v Manchester United, but we've also got Everton v West Ham. Live commentary coming from the Annex. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do enjoy my streams, smash a like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the stream. Peace. Everton v West Ham. Live commentary coming from the Annex. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. If you
and that's Josh Sheehan now for Newcastle Chappers. And he, very short run up into the top left-hand corner. Confident as you like. 3-2 to Newport. Newcastle about to take their fourth penalty, and it'll be John Joe Shelvey who scored that equaliser. It was a sumptuous goal at Chappers.
I'm told after he scored, he ran off shushing an imaginary crowd. Did he?
Maybe
that
seems
to be all
maybe
over social
media. Maybe you can hear what the media is saying, Chappers, because to be honest, you probably can hear some of the commentaries around me, but it is quiet in Rodney Parade, and he might have heard a little bit of criticism towards him today, because here he goes, stepping up, and he's scored. Very lovely penalty into the bottom right corner, but he has had this fantastic battle with this youngster who's gone off now, Scott Twine for Newport, who's a 21-year-old loanee from Swindon, and they had this brilliant battle all game, but in the end, John Joe Shelvey's quality was showing through. Now, Newport for their fourth penalty. This will be Ryan Taylor, who came on as a substitute late in the game. And he's had a lot of injury problems, but he's getting back to fitness. He steps up, left-footed strike. Oh, it's saved. It's a good save. It was more or less down the middle, slightly to the right, but Gillespie perhaps making amends for his earlier error from Tristan Abraham's goal in the 5th minute, has just denied Ryan Taylor. It wasn't a confident penalty, but good save by Gillespie. And we're now even again at where are we up to? 3-3 with the 5th penalties to come. I knew that. I was just testing. Jacob Murphy.
See if I was still listening. Yes, I am. I'm paying attention.
It's Murphy next to, for me, has been one of Newcastle's standout players tonight. A real bright spark. He's had this ongoing battle with Townsend in the Newport goal all game, and he's making him wait. He's staring him out. Here comes the run up, and it's a really good penalty. Sends him the wrong way and goes into the top right-hand corner. So Newcastle now have the advantage, 4-3. So Newport have to score this.
And they were under the cosh for a lot of the second half, Newport.
Yeah, they had their opportunities, but the last 10 minutes, it really was backs to the wall. Here comes the penalty taker, Matty Dolan, for Newport, and he has scored. He keeps them in it, so we go to sudden death. Matty Dolan scoring there for Newport Chappers.
It is still goalless between Burnley and Manchester City. The two 7:45 games are Brighton, Manchester United, and Everton against West Ham. We'll go wherever the story is. We'll start, though, at Brighton, Manchester United. Who's next for Newcastle?
I'm struggling to see, Chappers, because they're slightly tilted away from us. We're in the Hazel stand, which faces, but the right-footed players, that's Longstaff, is stepping up. The right-footed players are against us, and he rolls it into the bottom right-hand corner. Longstaff, and now the pressure goes back to Newport. And who is this stepping up? This looks like Brandon Cooper. It is the defender who made a last-ditch tackle in the last few minutes to deny Ryan Fraser. It was a fantastic tackle. That could have been game over right then because it was 1-1 at that point. So Cooper, the centre-back for Newport, he's had a brilliant game up against Gillespie. Short run up, and he's blasted it well over, out of the ground, and that is that. Newcastle progress on penalties. Newport hearts broken. They've given a fantastic account of themselves tonight, chappers, but unfortunately for Cooper and for Newcastle, that's gone out of the ground over the small stand behind the goal, and Newcastle progress, but they've been taken all the way here by League Two Newport. A great effort by them and a great story for them as well, and I know it's done a lot. I've spoken to the club, I know it's done a lot for their finances in these COVID times, and they've played brilliantly tonight, but Newcastle will progress, but it took them penalties to overcome League Two Newport, chappers.
A lot more difficult this week for Newcastle than it was last week whilst you were listening to penalties. The deadlock was broken at Turf Moor. Who got it? Gary Flintoff, Irving Berlin?
Anything goes tonight, you know, Mark. Burnley 0, Manchester City 1, and finally Raheem Sterling finds a way to beat Bailey Peacock Farrell, sweeping home just around about the penalty spot after a really good low cross from Mendy from this near left-hand side. The goal has been coming. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 1.
Let's just touch on the cricket before we join Alistair Bruce-Ball and Steve Sidwell for Brighton against Manchester United. Henry Moran is at Derby, where, Henry, it looks like the final match of the T20 series between England's women and the West Indies women will be washed out, but England are 4-0 up in this series.
Yeah, they are. It's been raining for the last few hours. And put it this way, chappers, there's one of the scorers in the commentary box to my right has been knitting a scarf for the last couple of hours, and she's made magnificent progress, and it's not showing any signs that progress is going to stop anytime soon, because it's been raining for the last, as I say, couple of hours. The covers are on. We need to be playing by 28 minutes past 8 to get a 5-over match in. And to be honest, the way the ground staff are in the middle at the moment, it doesn't look all that likely that's going to happen.
OK, let's switch to England's men, because the central contracts have been announced today. First test deals for Ollie Pope, Zach Crawley and Dom Sibley. Johnny Bairstow loses his red ball deal. I mean, he's only made one test appearance in the last year, so maybe that isn't that big a surprise. There seems to be a lot more sympathy over Mark Wood, who also hasn't got a red ball contract.
Yeah, Mark Wood would be the name that would be more of a surprise. He's only played 3 tests in the last year, but you'd have thought with the Ashes series next winter in Australia that he'll be still a very big part of England's thinking because of the way that he bowls. He's an unusual bowler with the pace that he gets. So I think with Mark Wood, he's more likely to return to the test fold perhaps than Johnny Bairstow, who's, as you say, played just the 1 match in the last year. In that game, 2 scores in single figures. And with Jos Buttler seeming to have cemented his place with the gloves, having scored that century against Pakistan, as well as Ben Foakes being just behind him in the selection for Test cricket, it seems quite hard to see where the opportunities might be for Bairstow. That said, Ashley Giles, Director of Men's Cricket at the ECB, has said today that Bairstow still does have a desire to play Test cricket, and the ECB will support him getting back into the team. So it's not completely closed, but you'd have thought for the time being, Bairstow's not necessarily in the Test reckoning.
OK, thank you very much, Henry. Let's go back to the football. So we've got Alistair Bruce-Ball and Steve Sidwell at the Amex for Brighton against Manchester United. We've got John Akers and Leon Osman at Goodison, where it's Everton, West Ham. Leon, can I ask you about Ross Barkley, who's moved on loan from Chelsea to Aston Villa today? Obviously a man that you know very well. Are you, A, surprised that Chelsea have allowed him to go? B, do you think it's a good move for him?
I think it's a good move for him if he's not going to be playing the amount of football that he would need to. I mean, he's 26 years of age now. He's now in that period of his career where you're expecting to be on the team sheet, guaranteed to be playing football every week. I mean, he's tried to go to Chelsea. Probably didn't work out as he'd expected because, as I said, he's not found himself a regular name on that team sheet. So yeah, with the England Euros potentially at the end of the season, it's given him the opportunity to go play football, and I think you'll start to see him. I think it might take a few weeks. You know, he's not been playing as regular as he would have liked, but I think we'll see him get back to that level.
And in any way, Steve Sidwell, do you see this as a risk for Villa?
No, I don't. I think it's a massive coup. I think he walks into that team along with Jack Grealish. He can add something that they haven't got. He can change a game, he can win games. We've seen him play at his very, very best, and what he brings to the team. Ozzy was spot on there in terms of game time. He's going to be playing, obviously if he plays well and plays consistently well, he'll play every minute. It's a platform for him to go and enjoy his football with the Euros that are coming up, and if he plays how we know he can play, he can push into that England team.
And a Grealish-Barkley access in some way, Leon?
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. The talk is, are they too similar? But Jack Grealish has made that position out on the left his position at the moment. Ross Barkley would operate central, and I think it'll be something that will work for Aston Villa. Jack Grealish won't necessarily have to come in search and feel like he has to do everything like he has done over the past couple of seasons at Aston Villa. He can share that workload. I think the intelligence of the pair of them will be able to play really well. My interesting thing is, I wonder if Ross pushed for it. Was he looking at the situation thinking, I'm not going to get enough game time and I'm not going to be playing as many minutes as I want to, and I really don't want to sit and potentially win something at the end of the season, but not feeling like I've played a part in that, and I'd rather go play football, or whether Chelsea looked to get him out or the offer came. I'd be interested to know exactly how this came about.
Let's concentrate then on the game that Ali is going to watch alongside Steve. Thank you, Leon. John Akers alongside Leon. So if the story really develops there, we'll go to Goodison. Ali waiting for the teams to come out. You made an interesting point actually on how the teams came out on Saturday.
Yeah.
That you actually thought Manchester United came out in a bit of a relaxed way, for want of a better way of putting it.
No, I did think that, Martin. Sometimes you think, right, I might be reading too much into that, but they've actually come out as more of a team. They came out in dribs and drabs and were sort of dragging their feet and heads down and just didn't quite look up for it. And I know we sometimes feel like that because we're inside empty stadiums and you've not got that roar when the two teams come out. Interestingly, tonight they have come out side by side. Normally one team comes out first and the other follows. They were socially distanced, everyone. Don't worry, because the tunnel here at Brighton, as Steve Sidwell will tell you, is nice and spacious. So we had Brighton on the left, all in blue. Manchester United on the right, all in red. I've noticed that, Steve, you've been nodding politely hello to some of these young Brighton substitutes, because what you've got to be careful with, Steve, commentating for us tonight, is you are right behind this Brighton bench, so they'll hear every single word. And the manager, Graham Potter, when we did a game here just after lockdown, the 2-1 win against Arsenal, he said he heard every word of the commentary that day. So just be warned, Steve.
Well, I have heard, and I've heard firsthand as well from Chris Sutton. I think it was at Chelsea the other week when he said a bad joke and Dan Burn turned around in absolute disgust.
There is no other type of joke with Chris, I have to be honest, rather than a bad one. And you are so close to the dugouts at Brighton. I did the very first game at that stadium in the Brighton against Doncaster. It was in the league, and Gus Poyet got sent to the stands, and you're that close that he came and sat in the press box next to us for that game. Do you want to take it away, Ali?
Yeah, let's do it because we're just about to get underway. We still have rain falling here at the Amex Stadium. Going to turn this Zoom link off, so we'll wave goodbye to Mark Chapman, possibly see him again at half-time. He'll be off for a cup of tea. We've got to start the hard work now, Steve. Brighton Manchester United was a brilliant game on Saturday. Funnily enough, Steve, I was just thinking, we've got no VAR tonight. Now, had there been no VAR Saturday, Brighton would have got themselves a point, but I know it's a different team. It's two entirely different lineups tonight. Brighton must take so much encouragement again, Steve, from the way they played. The way they've started this season, actually, performance-wise.
Yeah, they've come out 3 games. The points don't replicate the performances. I know for a fact the manager has been delighted with the performances from this start of the season, and it will only breed confidence throughout, not just through the lads that are playing weekly in the Premier League in them games, but in the cup games as well. They played well in the previous rounds. This team is a mixture of the two, and it's everyone playing for places now.
Referee Graham Scott just talking to a few of the players around him, making a point to Donny van der Beek. The rain continues to fall. Brighton defending the goal away to our left-hand side. Jason Steele is the League Cup goalkeeper. Matty Ryan takes a rest this evening. It's the Spaniard Robert Sanchez on the bench. But Steele's kept 2 clean sheets in the first 2 rounds against Portsmouth and Preston. The whistle blows for the first time this evening, and the players all drop to one knee. Whistle blows again, up they get, and away we go. So, League Cup 4th round tie. Tottenham through after penalties against Chelsea last night. Newcastle now through after penalties against Newport tonight. And thanks to an 87th minute equaliser there for them from John Joe Shelvey. We've got Manchester City 1 up at Burnley. That game kicked off at 7 o'clock. Everton West Ham getting underway. John Akers and Leon Osman are watching that one for us tonight. Steve Sidwell and I here. Sheltered from the rain. Early free kick for Manchester United. I'll remind you of the teams in just a second. But Fred is in central midfield and he's playing the ball to the left to young Brandon Williams, who's at left back. Victor Lindelof, the only man who started the Premier League game here on Saturday. But some of the big guns, big names on the bench, the likes of Paul Pogba, Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, all sitting there just in case they're needed later on this evening. Manchester United have possession. Fred's dropped deep between the two centre-backs. Lindelof playing on the left-hand side this evening in the absence of Harry Maguire, and Eric Bailly on the right. Scott McTominay plays it back to Fred. Fred brings it up to the halfway line, tries to hit that diagonal. Veltman, the Dutchman at right wing back for Brighton, summer signing, heads it away, and Brighton are able to build a move down the right. Your handbacks with a low ball into the middle, intercepted by Bailly. Lindelof is there. Calm, measured pass from him to Fred, up towards Igalo, who gets a kick in the back of the leg, and that's a free kick for Manchester United. So different names, Steve, but Brighton going with this 3 again that they're employing in the Premier League as well. At the back, 3 at the back.
I was just about to come on to that. They look very comfortable, don't they? In possession, they know their roles, and out of possession as well. When Manchester United get the ball, they're very happy to let them have it in their own half, and as soon as they enter the Brighton half, they get round the ball, they try and win the ball back with energy and press and try and counter-attack. But good start so far for Brighton.
Yeah, looking forward to watching Donny van der Beek live this evening for Manchester United, ostensibly in the number 10 role. There's a white number 34 on his back. Here's Brighton's number 34. Another Dutchman, Veltman, heads it away. Fred onto it for Manchester United. Middle of the Brighton half. Stabs his pass to Van der Beek, who's wide on the left-hand touchline. Gives Fred a shout because the Brazilian has a man on. That is Victor Gyökeres, the 22-year-old Swedish striker who scored his first goal for the club in the 4-0 win against Portsmouth in the second round of this competition. The rain just seems to be getting a little heavier at the moment in the early stages of this game. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Scoop pass from Lindelof, and it goes bouncing through and behind for the goal kick. So the Brighton team tonight: Jason Steele in goal, a name you might recognise, former Middlesbrough goalkeeper, then had a spell at Blackburn, season at Sunderland when they were relegated to League One. He's between the sticks for Brighton. Ben White, Lewis Dunk and Dan Burn, a very recognisable back 3. Joel Veltman, the right wing back, the Brazilian Bernardo as the left wing back. We've then got Jason Malumbi, 21-year-old Republic of Ireland international, alongside the German Pascal Gross in central midfield, Alexis McAllister and Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh, the Iranian, in support of Gyökeres. Steve, you were talking to me about Pascal Gross, central midfield, that not necessarily being his sort of natural habitat in terms of his attacking instincts.
Yeah, he normally plays sort of 10-15 yards further up the pitch, operating in a role behind the striker, sometimes drifts out wide left to right, but this evening he's going to have to play a disciplined role in there. He's got a good range of passing. His energy levels are fantastic. He'll definitely be completing 13 kilometres tonight, that's for sure. That was a minimum for him, and he'll get around the pitch and be busy.
Eric Bailly dealing with the ball inside the Manchester United half. Gyökeres is a big, muscly, powerful striker right behind him. Dean Henderson, Manchester United goalkeeper, able to clear with his right foot. Half-time at Turf Moor. This one kicked off at 7 o'clock. Gary Flintoff.
And it's Burnley 0, the holders, Manchester City 1. The Burnley keeper, Bailey Peacock-Farrell, was playing a starring role before Raheem Sterling swept the ball home from 10 yards after a dangerous low cross from Benjamin Mendy. Burnley not really in it. They've had 2 decent shouts for a penalty. Both turned down. No VAR tonight. Burnley 0, Manchester City 1.
That's right. Everton and West Ham goalless at the moment. John Akers and Leon Osman will keep us updated on that one. Brighton playing the ball around inside their own half, 10 yards short of the halfway line. Dan Burn, 6'7" tall at left back, and he slightly overhit the pass. Veltman can't keep it in, tried to jump and not it back in play. It's gone out for a throw into Manchester United, who have Dean Henderson in goal, who will certainly be putting pressure on David De Gea for the number 1 spot this season, all in bright yellow. Diogo Dalot, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof and Brandon Williams is the back four. Scott McTominay and Fred in central midfield. Mata, Donny van de Beek and Daniel James with Odion Ighalo through the middle. 5 minutes play. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Juan Mata, possibly his first touch of the evening, just inside his own half. Nice low pass across this wet top surface. Fred to McTominay, puts a bit more pace on the ball, but his pass forward is intercepted. Here's young Malumbi for Brighton, gives it to Dan Burn. Burn gets those long legs going, starts to make a run forward, then decides to come back and play it to Lewis Dunk, right in the middle of that back three. Next break in play will be heading to Headingley. Dave Woods will have news on Leeds Rhinos, Catalan Dragons in the Super League. Probably time to do it now because Dunk's massively overhit the pass. Manchester United will get a goal kick. 0-0 here. What's happening with you, Dave?
Well, it's full time. Leeds 6, Catalan 34. 2 late tries for Catalan, giving the scoreline a relatively comfortable look, but anything but against a very young Leeds side. 8 debutants in Super League for them tonight. Catalan more or less at full strength, although they only landed in England late this afternoon. But Leeds, terrific effort. I think if we had a crowd in here, it'd be a standing ovation now. But Catalan win it, so strengthen their top 4 hopes. Leeds look ahead to the semi-final of the Cup now on Saturday. Leeds 6, Catalan 34.
Thanks, Dave. Juan Mata trying to dribble out of trouble. He's fouled. Heavy challenge on him in central midfield. It's a free kick for Manchester United. McAllister with the challenge. Manchester United go quickly. Van de Beek is alert to an opportunity. Brings the ball forward. Plays it to his left to Brandon Williams. 19-year-old. Bringing the ball infield. Knocks it forward with his right foot. Got a bit lucky with the pass. Took a deflection and falls nicely for Ighalo, who's actually going to let it run and behind for the corner. Early thoughts from Steve Sidwell.
Well, we've been playing 7 minutes, and that was the first run that we've seen in behind the defenders from a striker. At the moment, it's been 2 teams just kind of like boxers at the early rounds, just touching gloves and a few jabs here and there, but no real sort of venom in runs in behind. But we've seen that in Ighalo because we know we can produce that, so I'm sure there'll be more of that to come.
Corner for Manchester United, which will be taken from the left-hand side. The rain continues to fall. Juan Mata with his left foot, an away swinger, drops down on the edge of the area. Fred is beaten to the ball by McAllister. McAllister plays it wide to Johan Baks, who slips, loses it to Fred. He gave it away. Brighton clear to the halfway line. No one there to collect it for them. So here's Lindelof on the ball for Manchester United. 3-2 winners here on Saturday, thanks to that Bruno Fernandes penalty in the 100th minute of the game, actually after the full-time whistle had originally blown. Here's Williams. Williams across the field to Eric Bailly. Bailly with his head up is able to bring the ball forward to the halfway line. Side foots a ball to the right. Dalot at speed takes it forward, lays it off to Juan Mata. Mata with his left foot, curling ball. Ighalo heads it up in the air and then very calmly nodded back to the goalkeeper by Lewis Dunk. And Jason Steele grabs it with both hands.
The free for Manchester United, just behind the striker Ighalo, Mata, Van der Beek and James. The interchange from them was superb there. They're not just sort of fixated to their one side of the pitch or in the middle. The interchange between them are trying to disrupt the Brighton back 3 or back 5 sometimes as it is. So it's going to take a bit of movement, as I say, from Ighalo in behind to create space for James to pick up pockets, or Van der Beek to get in there on the half turn and then drive at the Brighton back 3.
Brandon Williams with the throw. That's the voice of Steve Sidwell. You can hear on 5 Live this evening, who won promotion with the Brighton team here from the Championship 2017. Now established Premier League team, and still coaching and helping the youngsters at the club. Ighalo's on the right-hand side. Nice step over from the Nigerian. Ball into the feet of McTominay. Little 1-2. Good challenge by Dan Burn. Got there just in time for Brighton and has managed to knock it behind for Manchester United's second corner of the game. 9 minutes gone first half. We had some of the Brighton highlights show reel on the big screen ahead of kickoff. Of course, the game you always associate with Brighton Manchester United, that 1983 Cup final. Anne Smith must score late in the game. Dallow's cross into the far post. Lindelof nods it down. Chance here for Gyökeres to clear. Just took a little bit too long over that, and Van der Beek nipped in and took the ball off him. bounces it off Gyökeres's shins, then tries to play the ball back to Brandon Williams. He's tackled, and Gyökeres trying to power away down the left-hand side. Fred comes sliding in, just uses the moisture on the pitch there to launch himself into the sliding challenge and knocks it out for a throw. Steve?
Very Sidwell-esque there back in the day, sliding from 10 yards away for a tackle on the halfway line. Concentration levels have to be huge tonight. It's been raining all day. It's still a drizzle coming down on the pitch now. These are the conditions when balls are fizzed in. You have to concentrate on having a real tight, neat touch. Otherwise, players like Fred will get in there and intercept and break on you.
Yeah, I think you're being a little modest there, Steve. That was an extremely well-timed challenge, which I think was what Steve used to do plenty of times for all the clubs he played for. Here's Johan Baksh, who's done well to win a ball on the left-hand side. He's down by the byline, whips that right-footed cross in. Pascal Gross hits the volley first time on the left foot, rebounds outside the penalty area. Bernardo plays it down the left. Dan Burn makes a run forward, clips a low cross into the penalty area. High clearance from Bailly. Malumbi jumps, heads it backwards, and then Igalo nips in, steals possession for Manchester United, and Mata plays the ball to the left-hand side. Brandon Williams charging down the left flank for Manchester United. There's been a goal at Goodison Park. Here's John Akers.
And it's Everton who've taken the lead. Everton 1, West Ham 0. Their first real opportunity of the game, and no prizes for guessing. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the ball over the top. His first touch is unreal. Brings it down. Keeper comes out, Randolph, dinks it over him. It's a super first touch. A very nice finish. Everton 1-0. Leon Osman's with me.
Oh, it was a terrific goal. He's, as you've just said, John, he's a man in form. It's such a difficult thing to do, to control the ball as it's dropping over your left shoulder. He manages to bring it down with the left foot, and all in one movement manages just to pass it over the top of Randolph in goal. It'd been a decent start by Everton. Hadn't really created much up until that point, but terrific goal, 1-0.
Knee slide to finish it off, and he's away again here. Dominic Calvert-Lewin towards the edge of the box. Everton starting well, 1-0 up.
Knee slide a la Steve Sidwell again, who's here with me at Brighton. 12 minutes gone first half. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Everton's women in action this evening as well. This is the Women's FA Cup semi-finals, and you can watch this one if you want. It's on BBC 4 and the BBC iPlayer. 0-0 against Birmingham in the first half at the moment. That game kicked off at 7:15. Tomorrow night on BBC 2 and the iPlayer, the other semi-final. That's Manchester City's women against Arsenal's women in the FA Cup semi-finals. We've got full commentary on 5 Live tomorrow night of Liverpool-Arsenal. They go at it again in the League Cup 4th round, and after all the games tomorrow, we will have the quarter-final draw for the Carabao Cup. Joel Veltman in his blue pinstripe Brighton shirt, playing the ball back to Ben White, who started the Premier League season really well, having been on loan at Leeds last season. No nonsense clearance from Lindelof, puts his foot through the ball, and it travels all the way downfield and behind for a Brighton goal kick. Steve?
We were talking earlier, wasn't we, before the game started, about players trying to play their way into the team and testing their character and minutes for players. And Veltman falls into that category, doesn't he? You know, Tariq Lamptey has been absolutely superb for Brighton. Veltman would have come in, experienced player with Ajax and the Dutch international team, and looking to have come in and slotted in straight away. But Lamptey has been absolutely first class for this football club for Brighton so far, and he's finding it hard to stake a starting 11.
Rain falling heavily again here at the Amex Stadium. Brandon Williams, lovely drilled ball with his right foot, but Dan Burn's going to lap that up high in the air, heads it away. Johan Baksh, who's switch flanks now for the time being, pops up on the left. Brighton start to play out from midfield. Pascal Gross gives it to Veltman. Veltman's touch takes him inside Brandon Williams, who stumbles. Gross is back on the ball and pings his own lovely diagonal wide to the left-hand side. Bernardo chests it down acrobatically, then feeds it to Johan Baksh, bumps into Bailly, shoulder to shoulder. Bailly comes off the better, clears with his right foot. Dan Burn chests it down and then comes steaming forward. McAllister lets it run across his body. Support from Veltman on the right-hand side for Brighton. Coming up to 15 minutes played. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. In this League Cup 4th round tie, playing for a place in the quarter-finals. Veltman, little left foot ball into the penalty area, brought down by McAllister. Manchester United appeal for handball, doesn't matter because Dean Henderson is able to pick it up. Nice little ball in field from Veltman though, Steve.
Lovely ball in from Veltman, and gaps are just appearing now, aren't they? Whereas before it was quite structured and rigid from both teams. The game's just starting to stretch after 15 minutes or so, and gaps are appearing for Pascal Gross to get on the ball. With Veltman there, you've just seen that can just chip a delicate ball into the front of Gyökeres or McAllister to get onto.
Manchester United have it again inside their own half. You can see Lindelof on the ball there, sort of squinting through the raindrops. It's falling so heavily. Lewis Dunk gets up, wins a header, nods it to Dan Burn. It's played back to the goalkeeper Jason Steele. Igalo chases with intent. Ben White side foots his pass across the face of the box, and Malumbi slipped for a second there, which almost let McTominay in, but he recovered and played it back to his goalkeeper Steele again. Here's Malumbi with his right foot. Recently made his senior international debut for the Republic of Ireland against Finland. What's he like, Steve, as a player, Malumbi?
Malumbi, yeah, is a great lad. He had a serious knee injury a few seasons ago. Was out for a lengthy spell, so it tells you a lot about his character to come back from that. And he had a very good season loaned at Millwall last season, and I'm sure being on loan at Millwall, you're going to grow up on the field and off the field as well.
Yeah, starting in this Brighton midfield this evening, I'm hearing that Birmingham have gone a goal ahead in that Women's FA Cup semi-final. Everton are leading, I beg your pardon. They have gone a goal ahead in the FA Cup semi-final. So Everton's men and Everton's women both leading at the moment. Bailly, little turn from him, plays back to Dean Henderson, who I think is wearing a short-sleeved yellow goalkeeping top with maybe not, I thought it might be a white long sleeve underneath. Can't quite tell from here. Fred, with his left foot, plays the ball quickly across the halfway line to McTominay. Now to Lindelof, comes bouncing forward, knocks it wide to Williams. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. 16 minutes gone in the first half. Game just trying to find its rhythm and find its feet. Juan Mata comes sprinting across the pitch, plays it to his left, continues his run, gets it back from Williams, stabs it infield. Igalo round the keeper, shoots and finds the side netting. Goal kick, yes, because Dan Burn was back there and may well have blocked that on the line, but I think Igalo was just off target with the shot.
Well, it was great play from United down his left-hand side. It all comes with James making a run down the flank, which draws Veltman out, which allows a huge space for Mata to run into the box. That draws Lewis Dunk across, but Mata gets there first and pulls a delightful ball back for Igalo. Quick feet, just misses the target, but it just goes to show there the quick play or runs off the ball will affect this Brighton backline.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not sitting too far away from us in the blue seats here in the stand alongside the touchline. Just see him looking at the replay monitor and nodding appreciatively of what Steve was just talking about and sharing a little exchange with Michael Carrick. He enjoyed it.
I see him go down to the technical area about literally 5 minutes ago and was orchestrating his arms as if to say he wants them to play quicker, you know, to move the ball quickly and move this Brighton defence around. And 5 minutes after that, they've done that. So that's the nod of approval. So if they can carry on doing that, then there are going to be spaces to exploit.
Steve Sidwell with us here at the Amex Stadium. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. If you haven't heard, Newcastle threw on penalties against Newport this evening after a 1-1 draw at Rodney Parade. Newcastle actually missed their first penalty in the shootout, but Newport went on to miss 2, and Newcastle go through. Jahanbakhsh, little ball with his right foot, almost gets that back. Malumbi's behind him, he can't control it either. Fred brings it forward at speed for Manchester United. Daniel James came sprinting infield, and the ball through the middle from Scott McTominay is not the right one, and it goes all the way through to Jason Steele. So not seen too much of Daniel James on the ball yet this evening. Feels like an important night for him, trying to re-establish himself in the Manchester United first team.
Well, where it was so tight and compact in the opening moments of this game, it was very hard for him to get on the ball. But now it's opened up. These are the areas where he loves to get on the ball, drive at defenders with space in behind, the kick and run, the old-fashioned Sir Stanley Matthews kick and run, and get down the bylines and plenty of crosses in.
Jason Steele, Brighton goalkeeper, clears long. Jahanbakhsh trying to get onto the loose ball from the Gyökeres knockdown, knocks it forward, but only as far as Dean Henderson. Half-time in that Women's FA Cup semi-final. Everton leading Birmingham by a goal to 0. As I say, that's on BBC 4 and the BBC iPlayer. If you want to watch that one, possibly watch that one, sound down, listen to this one. If you want the best of both worlds. Everton's men 1-0 up against West Ham. Dominic Calvert-Lewin having scored that goal this evening. Van der Beek, little 1-2 with Williams, caught late by Veltman. Referee Graham Scott plays advantage. Juan Mata in central midfield, takes the ball away from Malumbi. Van der Beek offers himself wide on the left-hand side, just short of that Brighton penalty area. Low pass to Fred. Fred stops for a second, looks for an option, almost runs into the referee, plays it back to Lindelof. And now here's Eric Bailly, side foots it to Fred, who controls the ball and turns in one movement, then clips a low diagonal ball out to the right. Couple of step overs, almost Ronaldo-esque those from Dalot. Back to McTominay, into Fred. Fred slides that pass through, might find Igalo looking for the one round the corner to Donny van der Beek. He couldn't quite get there, and Ben White is able to deal with it for Brighton. Chips a ball into the midfield. That's very nicely worked by Brighton, who are able to attack down the left-hand side now. Gyökeres on the ball. Veltman coming forward down the right, and Gyökeres has got the pass wrong and spooned it out of play for a Manchester United throw. Steve Sidwell.
Well, just going back on United's attack then, Van der Beek, that's where he wants to get into, is in them little pockets just in front of Igalo, where the ball comes in, he can just slip it round the corner and draw defenders in. Player 1-2, didn't come off then, but certainly a sign of danger.
Lindelof has it for United on the edge of the penalty area. Goal at Turf Moor. So last we heard Burnley 0, Manchester City 1. Gary Flintoff, what's the latest?
Well, the holders, Ali, have 1 foot in the quarter-finals. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. Sterling with his second of the night. Great through ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Found Ferran Torres, pulled it back. Sterling took a touch and then finished low. Burnley 0, City 2.
Yeah, Manchester City holders. They've won 4 of the last 5 League Cups. And if you remember, knocked Manchester United out in the semi-finals last season. Put them away in the first leg at Old Trafford by 3-1. United actually won the second leg, and of course United losing in the semi-finals of 3 major cup competitions last season: League Cup, FA Cup and Europa League more recently against Sevilla. So it looks like Manchester City might be going through. Gyökeres on the ball for Brighton on the right. Cross hits Lindelof and goes behind for a Brighton corner, and this has been quite evenly matched so far, I would say. Steve?
Yeah, it has, yes. Again, a confident start from Brighton, good on the ball, very well organised, out of possession, making it hard for Manchester United, getting sort of 10 players behind the ball, so it has to be quick play to disrupt that. So they'll be pleased with the start so far, but just lacking that cutting edge in the final third.
Midway through the first half, Brighton 0, Manchester United 0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Pascal Gross plays it to Veltman. Down the line here to Johanbach, dummies the cross, beats Williams, then whips it into the near post, headed away. Chested down on the edge of the penalty area by Malumbi, who looks to his right and sees Veltman. Another cross into that United box. McTominay with the header, falls to McAllister. Pokes it forward for Gyökeres, who has to turn away from goal and play it back down the right flank to Johanbach. Now Veltman. Brighton come all the way back to the halfway line, and Graham Potter just points forward. Ben White side foots it to his right and finds Veltman. To Johanbach, up against Williams again. Johanbach plays it away into midfield. Pascal Gross with a low pass across the halfway line. Finds Malumbi. Malumbi strokes it down the left-hand side to Dan Burn. Dan Burn gets his cross in. Nice and easy for Dean Henderson to deal with. Saw that coming from a long way off. Scampers forward and catches it easily. Now bowls it out overarm and finds McTominay in space for Manchester United inside his own half. Juan Mata playing it back to McTominay. Across to Lindelof. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Steve was mentioning him popping down to the technical area. He's done it again in the last couple of minutes. Something else he's seen there, Steve.
Yeah, I think he was telling Williams left on this left side and Dalot on the right hand side to really advance and get high up the pitch, because he's more than happy for Lindelof and Bailly to look after Gyökeres. Obviously they're outnumbering him 2-1, and Fred and McTominay are picking up McAllister and Johanbach, so they're quite comfortable there. So that's why he's telling the fullbacks to really advance on and outnumber them down the wide areas.
Well, you can see that right now because Brandon Williams is forward in a sort of inside left position. Daniel James is hugging the touchline. The ball's actually gone the other way for United, to the right. And Mata playing a little 1-2 with Fred, now trying to chip one over the top. The Brighton defenders have it covered. Dunk and White let it go, and it comes through to Jason Steele. And now Graham Potter is getting a message out to Victor Gyökeres, his centre forward at the moment. He was crisscrossing his fingers there, Steve. So what does he want?
I'm not sure if he's telling McAllister to swap with Gyökeres to go as the point up top. I doubt that. It might be when they're out of possession. You might have to just drop in maybe, but we'll see when that timer comes. But just there when Manchester United are on the ball, they just got to keep being patient, just keep the ball moving. Every pass changes a picture, whether it's a 2 or 3 yard pass or a switch of play. You just got to keep wearing the Brighton players down and wait for an opening. Don't be too hasty to get in.
Ben White brings it forward for Brighton. Nice pass from him. Johanbach trying to find Veltman down the right. Really has to stretch to keep that in. Did well 2 touches as the ball rolled down the touchline. Now he's lost it. McTominay plays out from defence. Igalo lays it back to Fred. Tries to find Igalo again. Intercepted. Brighton could use this to their advantage. Johanbach brings it forward to the edge of the area. Wide to Veltman. Little left-footed pass from him. Back to Johanbach. Crosses half blocked by Fred. Good reaction from Gyökeres there, who sped in and controlled the ball on his chest. Stabs it back to Dan Burn, who's a man alone there for Brighton on the left-hand side, so he's able to control it. Play it to Bernardo. Bernardo into the United penalty area on the left. Lays it back to McAllister. Johanbach with the shot. Henderson down to make the save, and the rebound falls, but only as far as Henderson at full stretch, who grabs it at the second attempt.
Really good play from Brighton down that left-hand side. They work the ball really well to get into the box. And as it comes to McAllister, he sees the pass before the Man United players. As it comes to him, he plays it one touch round the corner and follows the pass round. Then it's a great strike. It looks like it's destined to go into the bottom corner, but Henderson gets down low and slides in this weather.
Brighton 0, Manchester United 0, and it's interesting to see Henderson there as well, just using the sort of the grease and the sheen on the top of the pitch to bowl the ball out, which came zipping across the turf. Really delivered it at pace. Reminded me of being a little kid in the back garden with my brother, and we used to play cricket, and we used to wet the grass because we wanted it to be as quick as possible. We drove our parents mad because you'd absolutely wreck the lawn. We used to get the hose out so that we could try and get the ball coming down a little more quickly. 26 minutes played, first half. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Fred wins it back on the halfway line, took it off McAllister, tries to feed Igalo. He was tugged back. The referee, Graham Scott, was trying to play an advantage there, but actually he's now pulled it back because Igalo couldn't get the pass, and Fred has taken it quickly. Short to Mata. Mata to McTominay. Manchester United in their red shirts, black shorts, pouring rain at the Amex Stadium. 0-0 against Brighton. Manchester City 2-0 up at Burnley. That game kicked off at 7 o'clock. Everton leading West Ham 1-0 through a Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal, and Newcastle already through to the quarter-finals, but they were given a right old scare by League Two Newport. It finished 1-1. Shelby with an 87th minute equaliser for Newcastle. Took it to the penalty shootout. No extra time in these League Cup ties in the 4th round, and Newcastle went through on penalties. Here's Fred. Wide to Williams, deep in Brighton territory. Pass forward is blocked. Out for a throw into Manchester United, who are trying to show that patience that you're talking about, Steve.
Well, again, it's quite compact in there, and it's very easy for White, Dunk and Burn, because you've got the likes of James, Igalo and Mata just in front of them. So it's easy for defenders when they're defending with space or with players in front. That's a dream for them. It's when they start running behind, or not even 10-15 yards in behind, just 2 or 3 yards, just to make them aware or make them alert that, look, if you're going to get tight here, I'm going to spin you in behind sometimes.
Dallow playing it back to Fred. Long way out, fancies the shot, goes zipping off the pitch, and Steele gets his body behind it. Textbook goalkeeping, that, everything behind it. Grabbed it on the first bounce, held on to it as well.
That's what's known as a great pickup.
Yeah.
By the GK Union out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a tricky night in terms of conditions for the goalkeepers, but both extremely solid so far. Jason Steele all in green at one end, Dean Henderson at the other. Just talking Henderson, England's squad of course being announced on Thursday ahead of 3 fixtures coming up in the next window. Commentaries on all of them on 5 Live. So week on Thursday, the friendly against Wales. We know that Gareth Bale won't be involved in that for Wales. England-Belgium on the Sunday kicks off at 5 o'clock. That's in the Nations League. England-Denmark the following Wednesday. Full commentary on all of those games here on 5 Live. Coming up to half an hour played in the first half. These two teams can't be separated. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Mata turning the ball round the corner. Dunked forward to win the header. Breaks to McTominay inside the Brighton half. Just stops to collect himself. Plays a little 1-2 with Donny van de Beek. Brandon Williams is running into that space that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about. If United can find him. Lindelof brings it forward. 15 yards into the Brighton half. Daniel James gets a rare touch and tries to use a bit of that speed, but he's heading back towards the halfway line, plays it to Bailly to Mata with the first time ball, spun down the line towards Dallow. Dallow did well to win and ride a couple of challenges there and keep it for United. Now Fred with his left foot strokes the pass quickly across to Williams. Daniel James makes a run outside, and Williams has to foul Veltman because Veltman was going to take the ball off him. Free kick for Brighton.
Well, Graham Potter will be delighted out of possession. The distances and the shape, especially from Jahanbash and McAllister, they're tucking right in to stop, as you say, the inside forwards like James or Mata, stopping, getting them on the ball. So when it does go wide to Williams, then Veltman can spring out, defend well, and if there is a loose touch, just like what Williams done then he can pounce on it, try and get away and counter-attack or draw the foul in.
Here's Dunk. Brighton captain across to Ben White. White with his right foot goes long. Lindelof knows that's going beyond Gyökeres, so lets it run through to his goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, who's made the first real save this evening, down low to his right-hand side, dealt with that skidding shot well. Lindelof to Bailly, back to Henderson, controls it with his right foot, plays it out to the right back position. Bailly lets it run beyond him, then clips one down the right-hand touchline. Byrne heads it forward. Malumbi can't control it. Manchester United have it with Dallow. Onto Van der Beek. Van der Beek lays it off to Juan Mata, who gets onto that left foot wide on the right and quickly switches play to the left. Bouncing ball onto the chest of Brandon Williams. Williams to Fred. Fred wide to Daniel James. What can James do with this? Flicks it infield. Slightly overhit pass there. Awkward one for Brandon Williams to control. Breaks loose in midfield, and Brighton can come on the counter now, and Bernardo's got a bit of pace, and he's trying to get away from Bailly. Bernardo at full tilt here, shoulder to shoulder edge of the box, and the free kick goes United's way as both players go tumbling.
Well, that's where they have got to be careful, although they are advancing the fullbacks and Dallow and Williams on, and we said that Bailly and Lindelof are more than happy to look after Gyökeres. When you've got someone like Bernardo that's going to break out on the counter-attack, then it's going to attract Bailly to come out, who actually defended very well.
Daniel James is getting a little frustrated there. Won a tackle, the ball was going out for a Manchester United throw, and then for some reason decided to hold on to Pascal Gross's shirt and sort of tugged him to the ground. Gross not happy, and basically just making the point, well, you know, why are you doing that anyway? Just maybe hints at Daniel James's mood slightly. Not really been able to get into this game. 13 minutes left in the first half. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. So if we get to 90 minutes and we're level, then we're straight into a penalty shootout. Fred has given the ball away. Malumbi onto it. Pascal Gross first time ball to Gyökeres. Then Jahanbash wide left here to McAllister with his right foot, sweeping high pass to the right, and it goes beyond Joel Veltman and out for a throw-in to Manchester United. Talking the penalty shootout, Steve, last night in my house I've got a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. 12-year-old has chosen Chelsea as his team. The 8-year-old's chosen Tottenham, so they're playing each other in the League Cup, and they said to each other, right, whoever's team loses, they have to do the homework of the other brother. So my 8-year-old goes to bed, the Tottenham fan, with Chelsea leading by a goal to 0, and the 12-year-old really crying about it, and you're going to have to do my homework. The 8-year-old then wakes up in the morning and discovers that Tottenham have gone through on a penalty shootout. So he was absolutely delighted. And then, parents being parents, we decided as the game actually finished as a draw, we won't count the penalties. You can both do your own homework, and basically the bet became null and void.
Well, aren't you good parents? I would have said, right, get them books out, let the homework begin.
Yeah. That was last night. Tottenham going through on the shootout. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Malumbi wide to Veltman. The rain continues to fall here on the south coast. Jahanbash to Veltman again. Brighton in possession inside the Manchester United half. Malumbi back into his own half and Dunk. You can probably hear it on the microphones now. That rain falling on the stadium roofs high above us. It's suddenly got far more intense, heavier again. You can really hear it drumming down. Just over 10 minutes to play in the first half. Steele, the Brighton keeper, holds the ball for a second, goes upfield towards McAllister, and McAllister apparently is fouled by, who goes down holding his head. Free kick, Manchester United.
I mean, you look at this rain coming down now, and it just reminds me of when I was playing, and you go in, if it was even before the game started, if it was in the warm-up or if it was at half-time, nowadays you could strip off.
Yeah.
You could get a new jersey, new shorts, new socks, even a new a sort of a dry pair of boots.
Yeah.
And go out and play like nothing's even happened.
Williams, lovely 1-2 with Van der Beek down the left-hand side. Williams still going. Veltman does well for Brighton, just stops him in his tracks. Then Williams tries to get up, claims he was tripped by Veltman. Fred slides in, gets a foot on the ball, and it goes out for a throw-in to Brighton. And Graham Scott saw nothing wrong. We'll have another look on our replay monitor in front of us here. I think what Williams is trying to say here, Steve, you have a look, is that when he was down and trying to get up again, that he was stopped from doing so.
Yeah, they've sort of collided and laid on the floor together, and where Williams was thinking possible penalty, there wasn't given. As they tried to get up, he stumbled, and Veltman's tried to just kick the ball and accidentally kicked his shoulder as such, but nothing in it for a penalty at all.
No, I agree with you, and I think were there a video assistant referee there, they would say exactly the same thing. Our producer George this evening has a new toy which he's enjoying. I don't know if you've seen it, Steve. He's sitting quite away from us, but he can talk to us through a kind of CB radio, like the old school one that Boss Hogg used to have in the Dukes of Hazzard.
The smile says it all, doesn't it?
He's loving it. He's like a truckie, isn't he, on the CB radio? But he was just reminding me there. Good reminder from George. 5 Live Football Daily. The podcast will be there for you tomorrow morning on the BBC Sounds app. McAllister here into the penalty area. Shoots. Ooh, just over the crossbar. Dean Henderson will say he had it covered. And the ball's gone behind for a goal kick. There have been a couple of shooting opportunities for Brighton in the first half.
Yeah, sloppy play there from United. Just tried to overcomplicate it in terms of playing out with Henderson, trying to chip one out to Dalot on the right. Brighton picked it up, and it was probably the first time that they've made an explosive counter-attack. And with McAllister, you know, when he gets half a yard, he's going to take a shot at goal, and unlucky there not to hit the target.
Goal kick, Manchester United. Rain has eased again. Still falling. Oh, miscued clearance from Dalot. Gets a second bite at the cherry. Thumps it clear with his right foot. It's dropping inside the Brighton half. Another goal at Turf Moor. Gary Flintoff.
And it could be the goal that seals Manchester City's passage through to the quarter-finals. Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. An emphatic finish from Ferran Torres. His first for Manchester City, who lead Burnley by 3-0.
Thanks, Gary. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0 at the moment. So looks like Manchester City will be joining Newcastle and Tottenham in that quarter-final draw, which will be made after tomorrow's games. Liverpool-Arsenal is our League Cup commentary tomorrow night. Brentford-Fulham kicks off at 5:30, and Villa-Stoke is a 7 o'clock kickoff. Semi-finals this season are just one-off games. First team to come out of the hat will have home advantage. The final will be played on the 28th of February, so kind of in its normal slot in the calendar. And the winners will go into the playoff round for the UEFA Europa Conference League, which is a competition that is coming into being next season. So a sort of third tier of European football next season. Champions League, Europa League, and then the UEFA Europa Conference League. So the winners of the League Cup will go into the playoff round for that. And if you can win that tie, you'll be into the group stages. 7 minutes remaining. First half here, 0-0. Williams volleys it forward down the left. Van der Beek beaten in the air by Veltman. Fred nods it down towards Williams. He's lost it to Gyökeres, who tries to slide a pass in for Alexis McAllister. Johan Baksh plays it back to Veltman. Veltman in turn knocks one back into his own half to Ben White. White to the goalkeeper Steele, who's a good 10 yards outside his penalty area, but no danger because Manchester United have retreated back to the halfway line. Lewis Dunk's got all the time in the world, couldn't really see an option further forward there, so he's gone sideways to White. White brings it forward, scuttles back to Dunk. Now Dan Burn, he's going to try and move the ball more quickly, but has slightly mishit the pass or overhit the pass, so United have a chance to break it up. McTominay does that job well. Plays it to Brandon Williams. McTominay just under a little bit of pressure, knocks it back to Lindelof. Gyökeres continues the chase. Lindelof to Fred. Fred back to Henderson. And Henderson side foots one into the right back position to Eric Bailly.
You look how tight this game is. This 40 minutes, and then you look at the benches and you say your Pogba's, your Rashfords, Greenwood, Lingard. It's a game that's crying out for them to come onto and be explosive and just make things happen.
Yeah, that's what Manchester United did in the last round against Luton. Just sealed the deal later on in the game by bringing on a couple of the big guns
Rashford came on and scored. Bruno Fernandes came on and scored. He's not an option for Manchester United this evening. Mata trying to make things happen for United. He's come over to sort of left midfield at the moment. United have it inside their own half. Bailly to Lindelof. Lindelof forward to Van de Beek. Back to Lindelof. Lindelof takes it round Gyökeres. Daniel James lays it off to Mata. Leaves it for Williams. Tight spaces, but United have worked it well until that pass. Williams has given it away. Brighton see an opportunity on the counter. Jahanbakhsh in on the right-hand side. Running at this Manchester United defence. Up to the edge of the area. Shoots hard but high. Over the bar and behind for a goal kick. Steve Sidwell.
Again, they're the areas that they're trying to exploit when the fullbacks advance on there. Williams out of position, and on the counter-attack there, comes down the right-hand side to Jahanbakhsh, who drives, tries to get across the recovering Williams, and all he wants to do, Jahanbakhsh, is get into the box, try and feel contact to see if he could possibly go down. If not, if he can get a chance to shoot, he will take it. Just not making Henderson work at the moment.
Just remembered as well, talking about George on his CB radio, it was Boss Hogg, wasn't it, back at base, who was sort of receiving the calls. It was Roscoe. I know this isn't necessarily one for the kids. Roscoe P. Coltrane, who was out in his car, who'd be on the radio like George. Brighton 0, Manchester United 0. Veltman getting ready to take a throw right in front of his manager Graham Potter. Thrown in towards Jahanbakhsh, who scored in both rounds of this League Cup adventure for Brighton so far this season, at home to Portsmouth and away to Preston. Gyökeres back to Veltman. Veltman forced further back to Ben White. Igalo is sniffing an opportunity to try and steal the ball for United, but Pascal Gross is able to play it back to his goalkeeper Steele. Now Malumbi in central midfield. Cross to Dan Burn. Dan Burn down the line here to Alexis McAllister for Brighton. Into Manchester United territory. Malumbi looking for an option. Short pass to Dan Burn. Burn back to Malumbi. Cross to Gross. Pascal Gross, quick touch and then gets rid of the ball. Plays it to Veltman on the right. Veltman down the line quickly to Jahanbakhsh. Good cross in. Headed away by Bailly. The ball is dropping on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Van de Beek heads it away. Veltman gets there. Plays it to Ben White. Now Lewis Dunk inside the centre circle. Just knocks it forward into the feet of Malumbi. Pascal Gross has McTominay in front of him. Decides to turn and come back to Lewis Dunk. Dunk through the middle. Intercepted by Fred, that pass. And now McTominay gives it to Mata, who's trying to get away from Dan Burn. That is very much large chasing little. Large fouls little. Free kick Manchester United.
Yeah, that was Van Mata coming up to what he's, you wouldn't say, just above the knee of Dan Burn. Good spell there for Brighton. Used the ball really well. Crisp passing from side to side, getting down one side if it's not on, recycling the ball. Fantastic cross there from Jahanbakhsh, but strikers or McAllister was just on their heels because it was a fantastic ball, was delivered on right on the button on the 6-yard box.
Closing stages of the first half then. Manchester City cruising at Turf Moor. That game kicked off at 7 o'clock. They're 3-0 up. Raheem Sterling's got 2. Ferran Torres has scored his first goal for the club. Everton leading West Ham by 1-0. That one also kicked off at 7:45. Free kick for Manchester United here. Juan Mata with an urgent movement of the right arm, telling players where to run. Curls it in with his left foot. Header McTominay, and Manchester United lead by 1-0. Looked ever so simple. The delivery perfect from Juan Mata. McTominay times the run, and Jason Steele in the Brighton goal could do nothing about it. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1.
Well, a real simple goal. I mean, the ball is absolutely fantastic from Juan Mata. He just puts it into an area, but you look at the Brighton line, it's quite high, and in the end of it, it's McTominay and is it Igalo or is it Bailly that both try to attack it, and it's a free header for McTominay just to put in. You look at the goalkeeper and say, could he possibly have come out? It's on the 6-yard box, but it's a delightful ball that comes in. I mean, you look at the Brighton line up there in a flat line, and the size of them with Ben White, Dunk, Dan Burn, Bernardo, Gyökeres, they're all tall players. Veltman, but just on their flat-footed there, and it was an easy open goal there just for McTominay, just to use the pace of the ball and just put it on target past Steele.
Yeah, managed to bag himself 5 goals last season. Scott McTominay couldn't get in that first team post-lockdown, but has opened the scoring tonight just before half-time. And like Steve says, he had to battle his teammate Eric Bailly. He was desperate to get on the end of that. They almost got in each other's way, but McTominay concentrated on what he was doing, just put a firm header on the ball, and has knocked it into the back of the net to give Manchester United the lead. Veltman with a header away. Lindelof heads it in field to Fred. Fred's lost it. Johan Bach has to battle for it. Lots of bodies in there at the moment. Pascal Gross dribbles himself out of trouble. McAllister was starting to make a run. Gross didn't use him. He's gone high, wide left to Bernardo, who couldn't control that ball on his chest, and it's got away from him. Bounced 2-3 times and got out for a throw-in. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, and Brighton trail Manchester United. Just watching the replay as well there, Steve. Again, we don't have VAR. The flag stayed down. It obviously in the Premier League would have been looked at. And McTominay looked as though he timed it right, or do you think it was tight?
I think VAR would have got involved. It was definitely tight. Whether it was another toenail job, we'll have to. Well, we won't find out, will we? That's just the case of it.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah. But Graham Potter will be so disappointed because Brighton have defended so well for 44 minutes in play, and just sloppy marking there from a set piece. We know Juan Mata's going to have a great craft on the ball and put it into a decent area. Just stay with your runner, stay with your man, mark a zone, and make sure if you've got your player, make sure he doesn't score.
Last chance for Brighton in the first half because the minute of added time is almost up. Bernardo's played it down the left to Gyökeres, and Brighton aren't allowed to continue to move because the half-time whistle blows. The rain has been persistent. The game has been pretty even. And as you say, Steve, and Graham Potter actually has just gone into the tunnel right underneath us here, chewing furiously on a biro, and you can tell he's annoyed at the goal conceded because Brighton were right in the game, and simple one for United to score.
Well, managers know as well as players, you know, goals conceded before half-time. It doesn't really change the half-time team talk, but it does. You can sense the mood going in now. There'll be shouting there from Duncan, Byrne and the experienced players there about the marking. But listen, from a Manchester United point of view, great time to score a goal, and now the game should really fall into their arms by the way that they play.
Half-time at the Amex Stadium, so as Steve was saying, the players can now go and have a total change of kit. Shirts, shorts, socks, boots, everything, hair dryers, redo the hairstyle, all of that. And we'll have a cup of tea. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1.
So that, just to sort of go over the free kick, Ali, it was out wide on United's right, and Brighton kind of held their line on the 18-yard box, yeah?
Yeah, and I think Steve will explain this better than me, but as he said, kind of, you know, if Mata's taking that's the in-swinger to the far post. And what looked slightly strange with it to me, Steve, was that McTominay and Bailly both popped up entirely unmarked. Both had the freedom of the area, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, any one of them could have really have scored if they wanted to, and both unmarked as well. I mean, the ball was so good, it just flighted over, literally landed on the 6-yard box. So you're maybe questioning still whether he could have come out, been a bit more dominant with that. But again, the marking was awful because someone to have a free header there is either a lack of concentration, maybe before half-time, which is disappointing from a Brighton point of view. But with that quality that comes in, all you need is a good connection on the header, and it's going to go in the goal.
So in trying to describe where the free kick was and the distance it was, and out on the right, and saying where Brighton held their line, what I was then going to come on to with you then is why hold such a high line in that situation? Because you are asking your goalkeeper, aren't you, to take charge of the whole of the 18-yard box if you are that high.
Yeah. I mean, it's a brave call. It's obviously something that they've worked on.
Do the positives of trying to catch them offside? I mean, because in the main they're trying to catch them offside, presumably. So do the positives outweigh the negatives? Obviously not in this situation, but
no, they do. I mean, when you're holding a high line, you're not holding a high line and staying there and just letting runners run off you. You are retreating as probably the ball is being kicked at the very, very last minute. Unfortunately, on this one, there was no one tracking the runs of two Manchester United players in McTominay and Bailly, which is going to be the most disappointing thing when they look back on the replay.
And I guess in this competition, Mark, slightly riskier in that you haven't got VAR to fall back on for the really tight offside, so you are relying on the assistant referee to get it right.
So it is Brighton 0, Manchester United 1 at the Amex. Let's go to Goodison. Half-time there, John Akers.
Everton 1, West Ham 0, and you can guess who scored it. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. First touch with his left foot, ball over the top from Keane after a nice little, what did you call it, Leon? A swizzle. It's one of those words that's going out amongst millennials. It was a lovely little turn, ball over the top. His first touch, beautiful, and then his second touch was just to dink it over the keeper. 1-0. And then West Ham came into it a bit, you know. They had a couple of chances. Lanzini's just had a header flicked wide. Felipe Anderson's had an effort from the edge of the box. Ale had a great chance from the near post, but missed his header, just took his eye off the ball at the near post when he was up against Dean. And Everton have had a goal disallowed. Richarlison with the finish. Randolph made a bit of a mess of it. The ball through from Rodriguez was ridiculous. Some of his passing, his crossing, James, has been incredible. So Everton good for their lead. They lead by 1-0. DCL, Leon's with me. What do you think?
Terrific goal. I think he's been quiet for the whole of the game. I'd expected him to have had a lot more chances, considering Everton's how they've been at that end of the field. But it's been Richarlison who's been the main man in trying to get on the end of most of James Rodriguez's passes. But for the goal, it was absolutely fantastic. Michael Keane with a terrific ball over the top. A straight ball, they're quite difficult to do. Dominic Calvert-Lewin just spins and
swizzles.
It's just swizzle. It was certainly a swizzle. And as he's running over his shoulder, I think he has to take his eye off it for a second and then picks it up on his left foot, brings it down with his left foot. It bounces and he just sort of, it's like a half volley over the top of Randolph as he rushes out. But it really is a magnificent goal.
But in some ways, Leon, Carlo Ancelotti has told him, if you hear what Ancelotti's been saying this season, not necessarily to get involved. Concentrate on the 18-yard box and get on the end of things.
Well, you're saying he scored from too far out then, Chappers? He needs to be in the 6-yard box.
No, I'm saying maybe he hasn't got involved because the chances just haven't been created for him. I don't know. I haven't seen the game.
Oh, yeah, well, most of Everton's chances have come from, I would say, James Rodriguez just coming in off the right-hand side and playing that ball in between the right centre-half and right back of West Ham United, where Richarlison's been the man getting on the end of most things. But, you're right about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Most goals are scored within the penalty area, so you want your striker, you want him in there, you want him being effective at that end of the field. And yeah, he's been in there, he's been around it, but as I said, most of the chances of Everton have fell to Richarlison. But do you know what? West Ham are certainly not out of this game. They were quiet to start with. They allowed Everton to dictate the first 20 minutes, but they just suddenly started to grow into the game, knocking the ball about, started to create a couple of chances, and with a better team, I'd say, towards the end of the first half.
OK, West Ham not out of it. Goodison, Burnley are definitely out of it. Gary Flintoff.
Yes, less than 10 minutes to play here, Mark. It's Burnley 0, the holders, Manchester City 3. Raheem Sterling with a goal in both halves, and Ferran Torres with his first for the club. And City have been very impressive tonight. In fact, the only worrying moment for them was when Aymeric Laporte went down awkwardly following an aerial challenge by the Burnley sub Chris Wood. But after extensive treatment, he returned to the action and he's still on there and he looks okay. Bailey Peacock-Farrell, must mention him, he's been outstanding tonight. Raheem Sterling would have had 5 if not for him, but the home side haven't really asked enough questions in attack. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 3.
Birmingham 0, Everton 2 in the Women's FA Cup semi-final. You can watch that on the iPlayer now or on BBC 4. To the French Open tennis, Russell Fuller.
Coco Gauff out in the second round. She beat Johanna Konta in the first round, but the 16-year-old making her main draw debut here at Roland Garros has been beaten by an Italian qualifier by the name of Martina Trevisan. She lost the deciding set by 7 games to 5.
The final T20 at Derby is live on 5 Live Sports Extra now. England's women and West Indies women having a 5 overs aside thrash because of all the rain earlier. The West Indies are batting first. We'll bring you some reaction. We'll hear from Steve Bruce after Newcastle knocked Newport out on penalties in the League Cup this evening. And we'll hear from Bruce after Shoja Sharka and the news.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Boris Johnson says the government will not hesitate to impose further coronavirus restrictions if the evidence suggests that they're necessary. Speaking at a Downing Street news conference, he urged people not to give up on the measures already in place, saying it would take time for the latest restrictions to have an impact on the spread of the virus. England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, warned the number of hospital cases and intensive care admissions was rising, though the figures were at a much lower level than at the beginning of lockdown. Coventry University, meanwhile, has warned that it is prepared to remove students who flout the restrictions. That's after police were called to one of its halls of residence where 200 people had gathered for a party. And the Democratic contender for the US presidency, Joe Biden, has branded Donald Trump's conduct in last night's televised debate a national embarrassment. A sample poll of viewers by the broadcaster CBS found almost 70% felt annoyed by the exchange, which was dominated by bitter personal insults.
5 Live Breakfast.
Large parts of the northeast of England are now under fresh coronavirus restrictions.
Meanwhile, more restrictions coming to place in Wales. Tomorrow, people will not be able to leave or enter Conway, Denbighshire, Flintshire and Wrexham unless they have a reasonable excuse. The first of 3 presidential debates between President Trump and Joe Biden took place overnight, and it was a fiery one.
Will you shut up, man? Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Keep yapping, man.
Will you shut up, man? That was quite a soundbite. Feel free to say that to me at any time during the programme.
I often do under my breath. Will you just shut up, man?
5 Live Breakfast. Back tomorrow from 6.
5 Live Sports on a Wednesday evening. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1 in the League Cup. Everton 1, West Ham 0. They're both at half-time. Less than 10 minutes to go at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. And in the first game of the afternoon and evening, Newcastle had to rely on penalties to beat Newport County after drawing 1-1. And even then, Newcastle got a late equaliser from John Joe Shelby in that game. Here's Steve Bruce.
Well, I have to say congratulations to them. When you come here, you want to get off to a decent start, and of course they've scored after 5 minutes, which gives them a lift, gives them a bit more belief if they didn't have any more. And you can see now why they've beaten Watford and they've beaten Swansea here, and they've took Man City all the way, and I think they've beat Leicester, and they're a good football side. It's a difficult place, so I was pleased. The longer it went on, look, I think we've had 27 attempts at their goal and 10 on target, but when you don't take one, Razor, it's always niggling away at you, and you become a bit anxious yourselves. But I thought we stuck at it the longer it went, as I said. So yeah, I'm very pleased to get through, and big congratulations to them of how they went about it.
Newport, obviously, a very different team to the League Two side you faced last week in Morecambe. But why do you think in the early part of the game, and obviously the goals part of that, you found it so tough against them?
The way they play, and they've got a confidence the way they play. You know, it's not often you see a Division 2 team play in that way. I bet you got a bit of a shock. So I think we were expecting it, and of course they get off to a good start. They pushed us all the way. You know, we dominated the ball like you'd expect us to do, but you know, we need to score, and unfortunately, I'm not going to flower it, that is a big problem that we still have in front of us. You know, we've brought in a couple of players to help us, of course, in that area, but you know, we've had big chances and didn't take them, and that always gets a bit frustrating.
Steve Bruce, after Newcastle went through on penalties at Newport. Plenty of rugby going on this evening in Super League. League 6, Catalan 34 was how it finished. Hull KR and Huddersfield are playing at the moment. That's close to finishing, and Huddersfield lead Hull KR by 32 points to 22. In the Gallagher Premiership this evening, finished Bristol 40, Leicester 3, Exeter 19, London Irish 22, and Worcester 40, Saracens 27. It means that Bristol, Wasps, Bath or Sale are still in the race for the top 4. Obviously, Exeter are already qualified. So one of Bristol, Wasps, Bath or Sale will miss out in that race for the top 4. The final games are Sunday afternoon. They're all 3 o'clock kickoffs. Bristol are at London Irish. Sale are at home to Worcester. Bath go to Saracens, and Wasps host Exeter. One of them will not be in the playoffs at the end of the season. A couple of interesting games around Europe that you might be interested in this evening. It's the German Super Cup tonight, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. That is 2-2. There's about half an hour to go in that game. A few games in Serie A this evening, and Inter have won 5-2 at Benevento. And currently at half-time, it's Lazio 0, Atalanta 3. Atletico Madrid played earlier, and that finished goalless at Huesca. Real Madrid are playing now. They're only 15 minutes into that game, and that's goalless against Valladolid. And just a reminder, it's also the Women's FA Cup semi-final. Everton 2-0 up against Birmingham. About 20 minutes to go in that game, and you can watch it on the iPlayer or on BBC 4. Let's go back to the Amex Stadium then. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1 at half-time. Steve Sidwell and Alistair Bruce Ball ready for the second 45 minutes. How did Brighton get themselves back into it, Steve? Where can they cause United problems?
Pretty much how they did on the in the first half on the counter-attack, with the spaces vacated from the two full-backs in Dalot and Williams. They just need to be quicker. You know, when they get in them areas, they need to just be more explosive, get into the box, and work, and ultimately work Henderson. You know, the shots that have come in, they've been a bit sort of tainted and flimsy and over the bar, and not really worked him enough.
Feels like a story of many Manchester United games, Ali, and that they're not really free-flowing, and it can look a bit laboured, and yet somehow they go in ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Saturday, you know, the 3-2 win, Brighton with the better team for most of that game. It did look laboured, and, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been talking a lot about it, hasn't he, at the start of the season, about why he thinks that is. I have to say, he looks slightly happier this evening than he did on Saturday. He was really agitated with the performance on Saturday, and you can understand why. But yeah, still a bit stodgy. You know, it just feels like they're just grinding the gears a little bit at the moment. And I was saying in the first half as well, the likes of Daniel James, you know, he feels like it's an important night for him, and he just can't really get into the game. And again, he's just looking, when he's on the ball, almost trying a little bit too hard. There was one pass in that first half, he absolutely smashed it at Brandon Williams, where it just needed that little sort of layoff and the 1-2. But we'll see what comes in the second half. Steve's actually made a strategic error here, Mark, because he's very kindly bought a box of cookies for us at half time. He's placed them on the desk behind him, and George, our producer, waited until Steve was spoken to by you at the start, and he just nipped in right behind your back there, Steve, and just took a second one and disappeared back to his seat.
That's my fault. Back to play. Always have to
exactly.
always be side on. That's what I was taught from a youngster.
Yeah. Vision wasn't there. By the way, Mark, just you know, you're giving us some of those Serie A scores.
Yes.
I was just looking at that because Champions League draw is on Thursday.
Yeah.
And obviously Manchester United are in there in pot 2. In pot 3, you've got Leipzig, Lazio, Atalanta, and Inter. There's some, you know, the likes of those in, you know, because obviously if you're in pot 2, you're definitely getting someone from pot 1. They would be tricky opponents. I remember having watched a little bit of Atalanta in the Champions League last season, who were fantastic.
On the evidence of tonight, you'd rather have Lazio than Atalanta.
Okay. What was it, 3-0 Atalanta?
3-0 Atalanta at half-time, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Back underway in the second half, and right on cue, the rain has started tumbling down again very, very heavily. I don't think Graham Potter or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have made a change. Manchester United with an early free kick very nearly gave the ball away there. Bailly playing it into the goal scorer Scott McTominay inside his own half up towards Donny van der Beek. That was a nice ball from Dalot. Van der Beek, you can see the surface water coming up there off the pitch as the pass was played by Van der Beek to his left-hand side. Brandon Williams has now lost it, tackled by Pascal Gross for Brighton. Brighton making 9 changes from Saturday to the starting lineup tonight, and Manchester United making 10. Bernardo trying to take Dalot on the outside into the box. Sliding challenge by Bailly. He got the ball. He came in there very, very committed. Won the tackle. Had he missed the ball, that would have been a clear penalty and possibly a red card as well for the exuberance of the challenge. Bernardo again trying to get onto it on the left-hand side. Did he keep that in? No, he didn't. Goal kick for Manchester United. Steve Sidwell.
Well, that tackle coming in from Bailly, it was a split second where you hold your breath, because he's jumped, you know, a good 3, 4, 5 yards away, and the timing of it was absolutely impeccable. But it was one that you had to get right, because if you mistime that, it's 100% penalty.
Yeah, it was a good challenge in the end from Eric Bailly, but you are taking a risk doing that. So Brighton, Jason Steele in goal. Back three of Ben White, the captain Lewis Dunk, and Dan Burn, who's on the yellow card. That was for fouling Juan Mata right at the end of the first half, led to the free kick, which led to the goal. Joel Veltman is the right wing back, Bernardo at left wing back, Malumbi and Pascal Gross in central midfield. That's young Jason Malumbi, the 21-year-old Republic of Ireland international, McAllister and Johan Baksh in support of the 22-year-old Swede, Victor Gyökeres. Veltman on the ball for Brighton on the right-hand side, has the beating of Fred, low pass into the edge of the area, Gyökeres lays it off, now floated out wide to Bernardo. That was awkward for him to control. Manchester United have cleared up towards the halfway line. Igalo lays it back to Juan Mata. Mata across here to Fred. Daniel James immediately sets off, hoping for the through ball, easily cut out by Veltman, and Pascal Gross is on the ball for Brighton. They're playing in blue shirts with a white pinstripe, white shorts and blue socks, playing from right to left in this second half. Next break in play, we will take you to Turf Moor. I think the full-time whistle has blown there. Brighton knocking it around inside their own half at the moment, so let's do that now. Here's Gary Flintoff.
Yeah, Burnley 0, Manchester City 3, Ali. 2 for Sterling, 1 for Torres. The holders coasting through into the quarter-finals. And 18-year-old Cole Palmer, who I rechristened earlier, can be proud of his debut on his biggest stage so far. And Aymeric Laporte, 90 minutes under his belt on his return. That's important. Burnley have been bright at times, but you can tell their priorities are elsewhere. Burnley 0, Manchester City 3.
So Manchester City go through with Newcastle and Tottenham to the quarter-finals. Ali Reza Johan Baksh is down here and is coming off. There's been a goal at Goodison Park as well in the game between Everton and West Ham. John Akers.
Equaliser for West Ham, and it's an absolute beauty. About 20-25 seconds into the second half, ball rolled back to Snodgrass, edge of the box on the left, hit it first time with his instep, curled away from the keeper and into the corner. A brilliant equaliser, Leon Osman.
Well, it is, and you know, when you've gone in at half-time, David Moyes sends his team out to try and respond as quickly as possible, and it took 25 seconds. Terrific bit of build-up play by West Ham. Really, first bit of real quality inside the Everton penalty area. Laid off back to Snodgrass, who found the top corner. Game on.
1-1.
Thank you, John. With the rain that's falling here, I think I know what's coming. Cricket update next. This was meant to be the T20 International. England's women against West Indies women in Derby. Henry Moran, how's that scarf coming along?
Well, it's still cold here. This match actually been reduced to 5 overs aside because of the rain. West Indies have set England 42 to win in this truncated game. England, looking to complete a clean series sweep, will start their 5-over chase in about 5 minutes' time.
Amy, you dealt with that quite brilliantly. That's Amy Lofthouse with the cricket update there. It was Henry Moran earlier on. I'm glad to hear we've got some cricket as well. Commentary on that over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Hard to imagine that is going on when you're looking at the rain that is absolutely throwing it down here at the Emac Stadium. So Amy Lofthouse will keep us updated on that. That's England against the West Indies in the T20. Manchester City through to the quarter-finals. Everton 1, West Ham 1. That ties in the balance. Manchester United leading Brighton here by a goal to 0. Henry Moran had a colleague sitting next to him earlier on today who was knitting a scarf. Hence the question, which must have flummoxed Amy somewhat, but she dealt with that quite brilliantly. Here's Igalo. Neil Mopai has come on for Brighton. Johan Baksh has gone off, and you can see Mopai is still kind of warming up in the centre circle at the moment. Actually, as Johan Baksh was coming off, Mopai had stripped off, and then he decided to put the coat back on until he was actually going right out onto the field because he was getting so wet and cold on the sidelines. We'll get some thoughts from Steve Sidwell in a moment. Here's Scott McTominay bringing it forward for Manchester United. Nudge to the floor. Free kick United. Central position. And that is in shooting range, Steve.
It is in shooting range, especially with someone like Juan Mata on the ball. He can deliver a delightful cross as well. He's played it. No, that won't be played. It's been too far back. Try to play it quick. Just saying there, that change there for Brighton. It's made them go to a 4-4-2. They've gone to a flat 4 at the back with Dan Burn going to left back. And Pascal Groves has gone onto right midfield, and it's Mopay and McAllister up top.
Free kick Manchester United. Juan Mata and Fred stand over the ball. Graham Scott's got something in his right hand here, which he's handing over to one of the officials on the side of the field. I think the vanishing spray. Is he out of vanishing spray? It's an empty can of vanishing spray, and it's been replaced, is it, with a new one? He's marching back 10 yards. Just trying to see what he's got in his hand here. Yeah, new can. Lovely. Perfect. You always know when it's just about to go, don't you? Because you can hear that rattle in the bottom of the can. It's like the shaving foam. Unless that is shaving foam, possibly, that's come out of one of the changing rooms. 7 minutes gone, second half. Fred is going to strike this for Manchester United. He's the only one anywhere near it with his left foot, with pace. Steele down, almost spills it, grabs it at the second attempt. Manchester United still lead 1-0.
Well, in these weather conditions, all you got to do is hit the target and make the keeper work, and sometimes they can split just like that, but still got up and recovered it well.
Lewis Dunk playing the ball across the face of his own penalty area to Ben White. White side foots it away in the air. McAllister tries to chest it down, does chest it down, gets thumped to the ground by Scott McTominay. No free kick, but a throw in for Brighton. Alexis McAllister is another one of these young Brighton players who was getting into that team towards the end of last season post-lockdown. Remember watching him here against Arsenal when he played a part in creating the winner. Very talented young man, but not starting in the Premier League team at the moment. Has started both of the League Cup games.
They've really changed personnel here. They've gone into a 4-4-2. Bernardo has gone into centre mid with Malumbi. Pascal Gross has gone onto the right midfield, and McAllister has come onto the left, and it was Gyökeres and Mopai that's gone up top. So 4-4-2, change of personnel in the system, with Bernardo in centre mid with Malumbi.
Now that's a foul surely on McAllister, edge of the penalty area by Lindelof. It is. Free kick for Brighton, and it's on the right-hand side for Brighton, almost on the corner of the box. Be nice for a left footer this. They'll try and whip one in towards that Manchester United goal. There's something about Graham Potter, isn't it, Steve? You're just talking about the total change of system and, different people being used in different places. He's very tactically flexible, isn't he?
He's very proactive, always forward-thinking. I think near enough always uses his 3 subs in games when he wants to. And that's his style, that's how he is.
So let's see what Brighton can do with the free kick. Alexis McAllister won it, and McAllister will take it. Bernardo is lurking at the far post, and McAllister has options here. It could be a curling ball into the box for the likes of Dan Burn, who remarkably has never scored for Brighton yet. Given his size at set pieces, you would imagine he would have got one by now. Could tonight be the night? Pushing and shoving between him and Lindelof. He's just trying to put him out of his stride. McAllister delivers, goes for goal, way over the bar. That's a shame from Brighton's point of view. Goal kick, Manchester United.
Yeah, I was just talking there about shots on target tonight and working the keeper. Exactly the same as free kicks. If you're going to get something, just work the keeper or get it into an area where one of your teammates can try and get a shot or a header on goal. I think you said there about Dan Burn. I believe he'd scored last season. It was wiped off. It was wiped off for VAR.
Did he?
In a game here at the Amex. I'm not sure who it's against, but I'm pretty sure I see the big man wheeling away with his arm up in the air.
Dunk heads the ball away for Brighton. He's definitely scored for Brighton, as Veltman is on the ball inside his own half, playing the ball up the right-hand touchline. Chance for Brighton to press Manchester United again. Pascal Gross with the cross in. Dalot deals with it awkwardly, almost hits him in the stomach there. Henderson scrambles across the byline, flaps it away with his hand. United now bring it away down the left-hand side. Brandon Williams towards Van der Beek. Van der Beek, clever little pass infield to Juan Mata. Across the halfway line here to Dalot, who's got good speed, brings the ball forward up to the edge of the box. Cross comes in, half cleared by Brighton. Better chance now for Malumbi to do something with it. Back to Burn, into the feet of Lewis Dunk. Dunk across to Ben White. All played on the edge of the Brighton penalty area at the moment. And now Malumbi comes back to his goalkeeper, Jason Steele. Steele out to the left back, or left centre half Lewis Dunk. Here is the left back, Dan Burn. Burn's ball into central midfield. Nicely controlled by Mopai, just trying to get into this game. Bernardo's giving it away though. Daniel James onto it for Manchester United. Can't find Igalo. Dunk read the pass, stepped forward and intercepted it. And here come Brighton again. They're trailing Manchester United by a goal to nil. Gross. Ball down the right for Gyökeres. Takes it on the turn, looking for support, gets it from Bernardo. Bernardo now in this midfield role, as Steve Sidwell was explaining, to Burn. Burn to McAllister on the edge of the box, thinking about lining up a right-footed shot. McTominay running with him. McAllister goes down, no free kick. Igalo getting a little nudge in the back. Lewis Dunk doing really well, sticking to his task, winning the ball and turning it into an attack for Brighton. Gross plays wide. Dunk has stayed up there. He's wide on the right. Mopai makes a little dart down to the byline for him. Back to goal. 2 Manchester United defenders on him. Mopai keeps it. Plays it back to Dunk. Dunk all the way back down that touchline, now played in field to Pascal Gross. Brighton keeping the ball well, keeping Manchester United on their toes. Everton 1, West Ham 1. We'll go there for an update shortly. Here's Dan Burn. Burn bringing it in field, just short of the Manchester United penalty area. Gross, first time ball to Mopai, now Gyökeres. Gyökeres on the turn to Bernardo, touch and turn from here as well. McAllister, lots of red shirts in front of him, chips the ball up towards the far post, headed back across goal. Offside flag is up. Dean Henderson catches the ball anyway to Goodison Park. John Akers.
Goal. Just as you join us, Richarlison has curled one in after a lovely piece of skill, a run, a shot from 22 yards, centre of the goal, just outside the D. Think it took a massive deflection on the way in. Just having a look at the replay now. Everton 2, West Ham 1. Leon Osman.
Yeah, it's a deflection off the back of Declan Rice. Richarlison cuts in from that left-hand side. It come after a good bit of play by Everton, finding Richarlison out on the touchline, but the whole of the West Ham defence just seemed to back off, expecting him to make a pass. He didn't. He drove at the edge of the penalty area of West Ham, went for the far corner with his shot. It took a wicked deflection, nothing Randolph could do, but after a great response it's been from Everton, they've hit the post and had another great save by Randolph. Suddenly they found themselves back in front.
It's a good game this, because West Ham look good going forward as well and look like they can exploit Everton. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's just had a shot over as well. Everton 2, West Ham 1, and we've got about 34 minutes left plus stoppage time.
Thank you, John. Keepers posted. Similar time left here. Both games kicked off at the same time. Richarlison could be a good investment for the fantasy football manager. I know John Akers is keen. He's one of those in our head-to-head league, recording the latest edition of the Fantasy 606 podcast tomorrow morning, which will be available via the BBC Sounds app later in the evening. Pascal Gross with a left-footed cross, unfortunately beyond Gyökeres. Dan Burn chases it, so does Mata. Mata gets there first. Burn is looming over him right down by that corner flag on the Manchester United byline, and Burn just a little... Oh no, Mata is penalised for shielding the ball and holding Burn off, and Brighton get the free kick. What about that one, Steve?
Well, I'm not sure how that's been given, because they was both doing the same thing to each other. It was... Mata was just sort of crowding around, hunched over, shielding the ball, and Dan Burn was leaning over the top of him, but for some reason the referee's saying there, pull of the shirt, but they was both pulling the shirts.
Mata's got a right handful of Dan Burn's shorts, his giant white shorts, and he was pretty much ripping them from his body. But you're right, Steve, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You always see that at the end of the game of football. Team taking it down to the corner flag, jostling for possession. So Manchester United possibly can consider themselves a little unlucky there. Brighton might be about to make another change here. Leandro Trossard just below us, getting stripped off and ready to go. Brighton only a goal behind, remember. Everton 2, West Ham 1. Latest from Goodison Park. Manchester City and Newcastle through to the League Cup quarter-finals this evening. Liverpool-Arsenal, your 5 live commentary tomorrow night. That game kicks off at 7:45, and the quarter-final draw will follow. Dallow's ball. Fred chests it down right in the middle of the Brighton half. Strokes his pass low to Williams. Williams back to Fred. Pascal Gross closes in. Fred turns away from him. Williams skimming pass into the penalty area beyond everyone. And Jason Steele picks it up. Steve.
Well, they performed very positively this second half. Just going back to that free kick there, Dan Burn, the left back, has given the free kick away. Sorry, got the free kick in the opposite corner flag. But even though the change to the system with the substitution with Jahanbakhsh coming off and the change to a 4-4-2, they've still played the same way. They've crisp passing, going down one side. If it's not on, recycling the ball. You can see there now with Mopay trying to run in behind, and that would have been the team talk from Graham Potter at half-time. Don't throw the tie away. Stay in the game for as long as possible. Keep it at 1, and when we get a chance, let's try and make it count.
Leandro Trossard is going to be Brighton's second substitute, just getting his studs checked at the moment. Mopai, low pass, great ball to Gross. Oh, nearly found McAllister. I don't know whether McAllister thought that Gross was going to shoot, was on his heels and wasn't ready to run onto the pass. It looked like the perfect ball.
That was a great ball into Pascal Gross, just where he wants it, sort of 5 yards outside the 18-yard box. It looks as though he's going to whip it with his right foot into the far corner, but he gives it the eyes, and he's given McAllister the eyes as well, because he's turned around thinking he's going to shoot.
Ball floated forward for Manchester United. Igalo chases, but he's up against 2 centre-backs there in White and Dunk, who deal with it between them into the last half hour. If it's level after 90 minutes, we're straight to a penalty shootout this evening. Manchester United leading 1-0 with Scott McTominay's header just before half-time. Just waiting to see whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to throw on the likes of Rashford or Greenwood or Pogba into the game. Not as yet. Ball runs out of play. Dan Burn can't keep it in. Throw in for Manchester United in their right back position. In the Women's FA Cup semi-final, Everton now lead Birmingham by 3-0. Closing stages on BBC 4 and the BBC iPlayer. Tomorrow night on BBC 2 in the iPlayer, Manchester City Arsenal, which is the second semi-final. I'm hearing news of an injury at Goodison Park as well. John Akers.
Yeah, fantasy football managers take a big deep breath. It's an Everton player and it's Richarlison, who got his leg caught underneath him, looked quite bad. He managed to get up and get back on the pitch, but immediately sat back down again. And he's gone down the tunnel, and Alex Iwobi is back on, and it looks like quite a bad one. Leon Osman's with me with the score at 2-1 to Everton here with half an hour left.
Yeah, he just got it caught underneath him, didn't he? His left foot, and his body gave way, and he put a lot of weight through it, and we thought he was going to try and run it off. He certainly didn't last very long, and you know, the worry after a great start to the season is the Brighton game being so close at the weekend.
John Joe Kenny's already gone off injured with something similar with his ankle. So 2 injury blows for Everton, who lead 2-1 here.
Yeah, good point from Leon. Thanks, John. Everton against Brighton on Saturday. 3 o'clock commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live. 3 commentaries for you on Sunday. Arsenal, Sheffield United at 2. Manchester United, Tottenham at 4:30. Aston Villa against Liverpool at 7:15. The Wolves-Fulham game, which also kicks off at 2 o'clock, will be available as a commentary online via the website and app. So that's what's coming your way over the weekend. Then we're into the international football next week. So that is a worry for Everton. Richarlison down. They're leading the game 2-1. He put them in front. Still Manchester United leading this game by 1-0. And it's Gyökeres, Steve, who came off for Trossard, who hit the woodwork 3 times on his own. He hit both posts and the crossbar against Manchester United on Saturday. He's been in good form, actually, this start of the season.
He's been in real good form, and he's definitely a player that plays on the front foot, likes to play on the shoulder of his opposition. And as you see the other day, once he gets half a yard, he gets a sighting goal, he will shoot. Links up really well with McAllister and Mopé, so we're hoping for the same this evening.
Yeah, on the ball right now is Trossard, immediately involved. Plays it back to Bernardo. Bernardo wide to McAllister, gives it straight back to the Brazilian. Then Dan Burn, across the Manchester United half to Malumbi. Brighton enjoying some pressure in the game at the moment, keeping the ball, making Manchester United chase. Just need to turn it into meaningful efforts on goal. They've only ever once in their history reached the quarterfinals of the League Cup. That was back in the 78-79 season when they ran into Nottingham Forest, who beat them in the quarterfinals. Nottingham Forest, of course, that season, if you know your football history, not only went on to win the League Cup, they won the European Cup against Malmo. That was some Forest team. So Brighton trying to do something they've only ever done once before. Manchester United 5 times winners of this competition, and every competition, of course, important for them. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer waving substitutes towards him. I think I heard the name Paul shouted there. How would you have enjoyed, Steve, playing against Paul Pogba? That would have been a good battle.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a great battle. Yeah, I mean, if I was playing, it'd be one of them, lay the marker down early doors, especially on a night like tonight where there's a bit of zip on the grass, and if he comes back for more, you keep giving it. So, but he's, listen, someone that I admire hugely. He's fantastic talent. You do wish that sometimes he just, I mean, he's got the ability to really grab this, not this game, but any game, but this team by the scruff of the neck and really drive them forward. You know, he's a World Cup winner, and you know, he'll come on and change his game for sure.
Pascal Gross plays the ball to Malumbi. Malumbi with his right foot plays it out to Trossard, who might want to work it onto the left boot. Keeps it on the right. Rolls it back to Bernardo, 25 yards out. Marcus Rashford also getting ready to go for Manchester United. It's going to be a double change. Dan Burn can't keep it in on the left-hand side. Yeah, Pogba was relatively ineffective Saturday here against Brighton, having a good battle with Adam Lallana. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been talking about his disrupted pre-season in particular. Obviously, one of those who went down with COVID-19 had to recover from that. didn't play any international football, didn't get involved in the pre-season friendly against Aston Villa. Here's Pascal Gross, low ball in, Trossard, oh what a save from Dean Henderson. Keeps Manchester United in front, brilliant reflex stop. Trossard thought he'd scored, Henderson throws out a left hand and somehow jabs it behind for a corner.
Well, what an unbelievable save this is. Malumbi does brilliant at the edge of the box, 2 great tackles. The cutback goes to Trossard, and you're thinking it's a goal. It's on the penalty spot. He gets great contact on it, but Henderson, instinctively, you know, left hand past the post.
Corner comes into the penalty area. Lewis Dunk heads it over the bar. He was always stretching to try and get on top of that. It was slightly too high for him. He had a teammate coming in behind him, but I think he had every right to go for it. Goal kick, Manchester United. Here comes the double change, Pogba and Rashford, and that is the Premier League for you at the top level, isn't it? So Brighton playing a second string tonight, Manchester United playing a second string tonight. Both have pretty strong benches. Brighton have brought Neil Maupay on, who of course was a £20 million signing last summer, but Paul Pogba cost £90 million, and Marcus Rashford is one of the brightest young talents in world football. So that's what Brighton are up against. Igalo comes off, Pogba's on, and Daniel James comes off. Not his night, Daniel James, but he will be getting involved for Wales in the international football over the international window, which is coming up next week. Their first game of friendly against England. Full commentary on that on Thursday week. Everton's women through to the FA Cup final. They've beaten Birmingham tonight by 3-0. That's a result. Newcastle knocking Newport out on penalties in the League Cup, in case you hadn't heard that. Manchester City comfortable winners at Burnley. Everton currently leading West Ham 2-1. Manchester United 1 up on Brighton. And the roundup of absolutely everything that has happened today, the scores, the details, the reports, the analysis, the interviews, will be available for you in the 5 Live Football Daily, available to download via the BBC Sounds app tomorrow morning. So we're midway through the second half here at the Amex Stadium. Rain is still falling very lightly now, but it has not stopped all evening. Miscontrol by Lindelof allows Pascal Gross in, tries to find Maupay with a first-time ball. Lindelof able to clear this time. Brandon Williams lets it run past him because it took a deflection. It's out for a Manchester United throw on the left. Thrown in towards Pogba, who's got a thick white strapping on his right arm. Poor ball from him. He's given it away straight away to McAllister. Can't find Trossard. Pogba tries to make amends. He's lost it to Trossard. So Brighton have it again on the right. Pascal Gross comes all the way back, thumps the ball with his left foot back into his own half to the goalkeeper, Jason Steele. So Pogba's playing that little bit further forward for Manchester United now, because Fred and McTominay's still out there. So Pogba in the sort of middle of that 3 in support of Marcus Rashford through the middle. Here's Dunk with his right foot. Ball comes skipping off the pitch into the chest of Gross. Aimed at Maupay. The pass, it missed him, but McAllister was able to take it on for Brighton. Lays it off to Dan Burn. Burn to McAllister. 30 yards from the Manchester United goal. Dean Henderson with the stunning save to keep this at 1-0 to United. Veltman's cross in right across the face of goal. Trossard couldn't quite get there. Behind for the Manchester United goal kick. And worryingly, more injury news at Goodison Park. John.
Everton 2, West Ham 1. 22 minutes plus stoppage time remaining, but Alan is the latest player to have to come off here. He's down on the ground at the moment getting some treatment, but you just saw him pull his groin, and he's pulled it really badly by the looks of things. He's going to have to be the 3rd substitution. Decore is warming up Leon Osman, and this has not been a good night for Everton. That's John Joe Kenny, Richarlison, and now Alan, who've all limped off with what look like bad injuries.
Yeah, and you know, it's the gamble you make when you play what you consider to be your first team in these fixtures. And I think if Everton were to go through, maybe it'll be, you know, a gamble that will have paid off. But there are big players that Everton will now have to do without in the coming weeks. It did look like a particularly bad one for Alan.
Everton 2, West Ham 1.
Thanks, John. Pogba on the ball for Manchester United. Bad news for Everton fans, that. Try and get more information on the injuries after the game from the manager, Carlo Ancelotti. Here's Diogo Dalot for Manchester United, who still lead through this McTominay header just before half-time. Former Brighton midfielder Steve Sidwell is watching the game with us here at the Amex Stadium in the pouring rain. Pogba holds his man off, plays it to Rashford, immediately pings it back to McTominay. Now Mata on the right, 1-2 with Rashford. Mata has the ball at that lovely left foot, gives it to Fred, who immediately gives it back to him. Mata curls the pass out wide to Williams on the left, played back into Fred. Little flick through for Mata, through on goal, shoots low, brilliant goal from Manchester United. Juan Mata, the initial creator, and then the finisher of the move, which may well take Manchester United through to the League Cup quarter-finals. Brighton 0, Manchester United 2.
Well, what a fabulous goal that was, and Juan Mata, you know, just if he finished that sentence and it didn't go to a goal, I was going to say how well he's played tonight. He's dictated the pace in which Manchester United have played. He's set up that with great little bounce passes in midfield. The ball gets played into Van der Beek, a lovely little touch around the corner. That's where Van der Beek loves to be, in them areas just outside the box where balls are fizzed in. He can just nip it round the corner for runners off of him, and Juan Mata shown composure there. Could have slid it in with his left foot, but cut back onto his right and just passed it into the bottom corner. No chance for steal.
Yep, created the first goal, Juan Mata, with the free kick that he won, and then curled into the penalty area for McTominay to head home. That was clever from Mata, because it looked like he was about to strike the shot with his right foot, which just kind of got Dunk off balance. Then he shot through Dunk's legs, and Steve's absolutely right as well in the live commentary there. Didn't quite have time to give Van der Beek the credit for just a clever little flick and the awareness that Mata was behind him. So facing his own goal, really, just flicked it with the back heel into the path of Mata, and Manchester United lead Brighton by a couple of goals to nil with 17 minutes to play. Pascal Gross's ball into the penalty area. McAllister heads it down and wide and behind for the goal kick. Just listening to that news from Everton, that is the danger, isn't it, Steve? I mean, you know, it's just unprecedented, this kind of fixture congestion we're in. Managers rest players for cup ties. We get annoyed by that because we think, well, you could win that competition. Then they play the first teamers, and then Ancelotti could lose Richarlison and Alan and John Joe Kenny, which would be a nightmare for him.
Yeah, it's the same, that, you know, scenarios for the FA Cup, isn't it? When that comes around, players get rotated, players are rested, and fans are angry because they want their clubs to go for cups. But these are the dangers, especially now earlier in the season with no pre-season as well, or limited pre-season that's happened. You are vulnerable to getting injuries.
Lewis Dunk's giving the ball away to Juan Mata. Mata's pulled back into the penalty area behind Rashford. Brighton are able to deal with it. Malumbi's there, clears with his left foot. Michael Carrick just booming instructions. Keep playing, he's saying, Steve. What's he? What's
just
the point?
to keep the tempo high, keep moving the ball.
Right.
You know, don't disrespect the opposition. They're gonna come out and try and get back into his cup tie. Just keep moving the ball, disrupting Brighton, and hopefully they can get another goal and then really put the tie to bed.
Pogba sees Mata in space on the right. Mata, clever little reverse pass to Dalot. Dalot stands the ball up to the far post. Pogba attacks it, heads it down and wide. Good leap from Pogba, couldn't quite direct the header on target. Goal kick for Brighton.
Yeah, lovely stand-up cross there from Dalot, and Paul Pogba there on the sprint. It was like one of them old Ronaldo goals. Was it for United or was it for Portugal? I remember where he comes steaming in and thunders a header low and hard into the ground. But no, again, just going back on Juan Mata, he done a recovery run then that just epitomises his performance tonight. His work rate has been phenomenal. On the ball, he's just dictated the play that Manchester United wanted to play out, when he's had to slow the game down and just do little bounce passes to draw the opposition in, and then when to speed up the play, just like he did in the goal there.
Dean Henderson slightly overhits the clearance for Manchester United. Dalot comes skimming off his head and goes out for a throw-in to Brighton, which they throw back to Dunk inside his own half. And Dunk knocks it to Ben White, who gives it straight back to him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in conversation with Jesse Lingard, it looks like, away to our right-hand side. Possibly about to get a run out as the third Manchester United substitute. Manchester United in control here. Manchester City already through tonight. So in Newcastle, Tottenham last night. Brentford, Fulham, Villa, Stoke, Liverpool, Arsenal. The three ties tomorrow. Full commentary on Liverpool, Arsenal, which kicks off at 7:45. Here's Alexis McAllister, the 21-year-old for Brighton. Pass deflected into the path of Pogba. Plays it to Rashford, who scored a fabulous goal here on Saturday, having got onto the end of the Bruno through ball down the left. Had a lot to do from that point, but used his pace and his trickery to twist and turn Ben White and knock it into the back of the net. McTominay plays it to Dalot. Dalot to Bailly. Bailly here thought about the pass to the left, stops and plays it up the middle of the pitch to Scott McTominay. Manchester United leading by 2-0. Brighton have the ball inside the United half with Malumbi. Malumbi looking up, looking for a run from Pascal Gross, possibly. Decided he couldn't use him. What's the latest at Goodison Park, John Akers?
Everton 2, West Ham 1, quarter of an hour plus stoppage time remaining, and Allaire has just tried an incredible scissor kick, forced a brilliant save from Pickford. It was above his head, it was instinctive. He really hit it with some venom into the ground, and West Ham have won a corner and they swing it in from the left with from Snodgrass, cleared away partially by Everton, but it's West Ham pushing Leon Osman.
Yeah, they're the team on top at the moment. They've got Everton on the back foot. Everton still not reorganised after the substitutions that were enforced, and West Ham pushing.
2-1, Everton lead with 14 minutes plus stoppage time remaining.
2-0 Manchester United lead with 12 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here. Rashford at full speed down that left channel, fouled by Veltman. Just too quick and too clever for him there, Marcus Rashford. That'll be a yellow card for Veltman. Free kick for Manchester United. Max Sanders, the 21-year-old, getting ready to come on for Brighton. Steve, you said ahead of the game that he was one who was very unlucky not actually to be starting tonight.
Yeah, in the previous round up at Preston, he was probably man of the match. Nice, neat and tidy on the ball. Puts his foot in, tries to get forward as well. Unlucky tonight, he's lost his place to Malumbi, but you know, he's still time to come on and make an impact in this game.
He was on loan to Wimbledon last season. Born in Horsham, not too far away from here. One of those that's come through the academy at Brighton. Steve knows all about that. The facilities now here at Brighton are amazing for the young players to learn and come through and try and break into the first team. Rashford will fancy the free kick. Pogba is also saying, I'd quite like to hit it. Fred's there. He's already had a go with one in this second half. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes over for another word with Jesse Lingard, who's getting ready to come on for Manchester United. Just over 10 minutes to play. Do you think Pogba or Rashford? Whistle blows. Who's it going to be? Rashford hands on hips. Pogba with the right foot. Took a deflection and into the back of the net. Paul Pogba's first goal of the season, and he immediately shouts across to the Manchester United bench. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he has really enjoyed that, Paul Pogba. Took a deflection on the way through. Manchester United have definitely won the tie now. Brighton 0, Manchester United 3.
Well, it was going to come in. It took a deflection. I'm not sure if it was going to be on target anyway, but it definitely took a deflection. Still was flat. Oh, it was going to be off target. It was going to be off target, and it floated back in from the replay that we've seen there. But take nothing away from Pogba. We just said if you don't take a shot or you don't take a chance, and you're not going to score.
So we might be saying Joel Veltman own goal if that's off target.
I would have thought so, yeah.
Could be a Veltman own goal off his back. Pogba celebrated it and loved it. Manchester United leading this cup tie by 3-0. Brighton getting ready to kick us off again. And there's been a goal at Goodison Park. John Akers.
Everton 3, West Ham 1. It's that man again, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, his 7th goal of the season. 12 minutes to go. Everton 3, West Ham 1. Shot from Iwobi, came back off the post, and there he was, striker's instinct, just knock it in off his instep from a few yards out, and that should give Everton some breathing space here. Leon Osman.
Yeah, I think West Ham have only got themselves to blame. Had 2 or 3 occasions where they could have cleared the ball. Everton kept filtering it back in. James Rodriguez and Iwobi right at the heart of it. Iwobi found himself inside the penalty area, maybe could have laid a pass, but just bent one far post, came back off the post of Randolph, and where you want your striker, where you want Dominic Calvert-Lewin for that one-touch finish. He's right there, 6 yards out. Everton 3-1.
It was getting nervy. West Ham were pushing, but Everton now lead 3-1, 11 minutes plus added time.
Lingard on for Fred here for Manchester United. The 21-year-old Max Sanders came on for fellow 21-year-old Jason Malumbi, who started in central midfield this evening. This game has gone for Brighton, barring something absolutely remarkable in the last 10 minutes of the game. Manchester United actually look hungry for more goals. They're up against Tottenham at Old Trafford on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. Full commentary on 5 Live. Brighton away to Everton. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff Saturday. That's a commentary game on 5 Live as well. Throw in for Manchester United in the left-back position. Pogba using his strength to hold off Pascal Gross. Gross gets a toe on the ball, throw in United. Steve Sidwell.
We talk about pivotal moments in this game, and you look at the Henderson save at 1-0, because the time frame from that to Mata's goal could only be in a matter of minutes, really. Not really had much to do tonight, Henderson, but when called upon there, as we spoke about in his conditions, concentration levels, he was spot on.
Might have something to do here. Trossard's going to shoot. It's blocked by Bailly. Brave block. Just put his body in the way. Dan Burn was hoping that was going to spin out for a corner, and the ball's not got enough pace to do it. The offside flag is up. I think Burn knew he was offside as well and thought, why am I bothering to chase this when the whistle's going to blow? And Manchester United are going to get themselves a free kick. So Brighton 0, Manchester United 3. McTominay, Mata, and a Pogba free kick that deflected in off the back of Joel Veltman. So we'll have to see who gets that goal in the end. If you look at the big bright scoreboard up away to our right-hand side, Pogba has the image of a football by his name, which signals goal, but not entirely sure about that one. 7 minutes left in the game. Dalot with the free kick. Interesting free kick from the right-back position. Tried to hit it all the way across field. Became a 50-50 ball. Williams won it. Pogba's played it out to Lingard on the left. Lingard immediately breaks into a sprint, goes gliding away down that left wing. Slightly overruns it here. Veltman has it covered. Back to his goalkeeper, Jason Steele, who collects it for Brighton. Bowls it out. Underarm. Different Brighton team this evening. It's the one, obviously, that gave Manchester United a real run for their money on Saturday. They've been in this game as well. I mean, 3-0 seems a little harsh on them. Still trying hard. Mopai's taken a free kick quickly, and as Steve was saying, the save from Dean Henderson at 1-0, absolutely crucial. Brilliant dribbling from Trossard inside the Manchester United penalty area. Scoops the cross to the far post. Headed away by Williams. That'll run to Max Sanders. Sanders wide to Veltman. Back to Sanders. Sanders here now, playing it to Ben White. Brighton trying to recycle this quickly from right to left. Bernardo looking for that ball down the channel to Mopai. Just beyond Mopai, Eric Bailly has it covered. Bailly looks to clear with his right foot. Mopai slides in, and that's a throw in for Manchester. What have you made of the Brighton performance tonight, Steve, overall?
Yeah, no, I think they've done well. They've probed, they've kept the ball well. It's just that final third, isn't it? That's where games are won, and they've just probably lacked that little bit of guile, a little bit of just spark in that final third, in and around the box, which we've seen in the opening 3 games from so far. But again, a positive, confident display that they can take into the weekend on Saturday.
Throw in for Manchester United. Everton leading West Ham 3-1, but injuries for Richarlison, Allan, and John Joe Kenny for them this evening. Raheem Sterling scored 2. And Manchester City's 3-0 win at Burnley. Newcastle through on penalties against Newport. Pogba takes the ball off Dan Burn. Mopai's not having that. Goes chasing after Pogba, nibbling at his heels. Pogba shrugs him off. Plays the ball to Brandon Williams in his red Manchester United shirt. Down the line to Lingard on the left. Pogba getting involved in everything now. Right in the heart of this United midfield. It's worked out to Juan Mata, who's been fabulous tonight on the right. He's trying to get on the end of a Lingard pass. It reaches him. Corner of the penalty area. Slides it back to Van der Beek. Little poked effort from Dalot. Just gets blocked very nearly. 4-0 for Manchester United. Nicely worked again.
Again, Mata, Van der Beek. That's where that combination play has caused numerous errors for Brighton, and that's what Van der Beek wants. When balls go into him, he just wants them passes that he can just feed into players that run off of him. If you've got players that run off him, he's got the ability that can just do that.
Steve, just watching that, after that move broke down, Dalot had the shot, and Mata immediately is sprinting back to cover for Dalot. You were talking before this game with Mark about, I think Mark described it as being in the stiffs for a game like this. We're talking about a World Cup winner, Juan Mata, 32, starts in a game like this. He has been an example tonight, hasn't he?
Well, that's why Ole Gunnar has put him in the starting lineup, because he knows he's got the character that can not only produce what he's done in terms of the goal and set pieces, but as a person on the pitch, to drive others, show them how it's done. Even at that age, he looks fit as a fiddle. He's been a testament tonight to Manchester United, and a credit.
Dean Henderson made that fabulous save from Trossard. Clears with his right foot. Another goal at Goodison Park, a 5th of the night. John Akers.
It's all over for West Ham. It's Everton 4, West Ham 1. Hat-trick for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has looked absolutely brilliant in front of goal. And it's a lovely move and a lovely finish. Left foot, near post, past Randolph, into the corner. First time from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And that'll be it with 5 minutes left, plus stoppage time. And there was a moment in the game where West Ham looked like they were getting back into it, but it's clinical finishing, Leon Osman, that's got Everton through to the next round.
Well, it's clinical, but it's so simple. He's just being in the right place at the right time, and that's what you want all strikers to do. But the move from Everton from back to front, the crispness of passing was fantastic. Great through ball from Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's looked very good yet again tonight, and another Calvert-Lewin hat-trick.
Everton 4, West Ham 1.
How many's that for the season, John?
8.
Calvert-Lewin. 8 goals already this season. Fantastic start for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. England squad getting named on Thursday, by the way. He'll be eyeing up a place in the Euro squad for next summer. Certainly if he continues like that, he's going to grab Gareth Southgate's attention. 8 goals already this season and 2 hat-tricks to boot. Bernardo on the ball for Brighton. We're in the 88th minute of the game. Manchester United lead it 3-0. Here's Trossard, who had that shot saved by Dean Henderson at 1-0. Could have changed this game entirely. McTominay prevents Trossard from taking a throw, shoves Trossard. Dan Burn steps in as Trossard's mate, shoves McTominay away and says, look, if you're going to start on someone your own size, even though Dan Burn's much bigger than him. Mopé overruns it behind for a goal kick to Manchester United.
That's exactly what it was, wasn't it? Don't pick on my little mate. You can come and start on me. Handbags.
McTominay's feisty, isn't he, Steve?
He is.
He likes a bit of that.
Yeah, he is, and that's what you need in that centre midfield, a bit of bite. You know, someone's going to put their foot in, a bit of a workhorse as well, but he's also got a pass in him. You can see a pass and he can dictate play when he wants.
Manchester United on the counter, looking for a fourth late in the game. Here's Mata, who's been a star. Brilliant chest control. That was awkward, the pass from Rashford. Mata infield to Dalot. Dalot pings it across the face of the box. Pogba stretches, can't control it. It runs all the way wide left to Brandon Williams. Williams with his right foot, back to Mata, takes a touch, feeds it into Rashford inside the penalty area. Looking for the pass back to Lingard. It was just behind him. McAllister able to bring it away for Brighton. Plays it down the line to Mopé. Eric Bailly's in there. Strong challenge. And knocks the ball out for a throw. The fourth official, Simon Hooper, with his face mask on, is getting ready to stick the board up and tell us how many minutes we have to play. Brighton are heading out of the League Cup in the 4th round this season, so it will remain just the one quarter-final in the history of the competition for them. Manchester United going into tomorrow night's draw. Back on air tomorrow night, 5 Live Sport at 7 o'clock. Full commentary from Anfield, Liverpool against Arsenal. Again, this week kicks off at 7:45, and that quarter-final draw will come after the tie. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the game, and Manchester United are going to run out comfortable winners. Brighton have taken their throw in quickly. Ball's played to Bernardo. Bernardo slips. Mata senses an opportunity. Bernardo recovers. Sanders to Burn. Dan Burn, chased by Manchester United defenders. Across to Pascal Gross, just gets underneath the shot. Goes flying over the crossbar and behind for the goal kick. And if you're Dean Henderson, Steve, you'll be very pleased with the save you've made. You'll be very pleased with the clean sheet as well.
Well, of course, yeah, and the majority of Brighton's shots have come from outside the box. The defence has been superb tonight. Eric Bailly has been phenomenal, really. You know, sweeping up everything that's been in front of him, reading danger. We know the frailties that they've had, especially in defence, in centre back. But Henderson, he's been brilliant tonight, and when called upon, he's been there and a pivotal moment in this football game.
Yeah, Cup football is going to be very important for Dean Henderson, certainly at the moment. League Cup, FA Cup with David De Gea, still the number 1 for Manchester United. But again, Henderson doing himself no harm with this performance, full of concentration, very solid, and the one brilliant save. Might be tested again. McAllister, little ball through to Mopé, tries to get the shot away. Half blocked by Dalot, headed up in the air by Bailly. Pogba controls it on the edge of his own penalty area. He's fouled as he tries to get the ball away. 30 seconds to play here at the Amex Stadium. Donny van der Beek, the lovely little touch to create the second goal for Mata. Here's Dalot. Dallo's lost it to Byrne. Byrne forward to Mopai. Has his foot trodden on by Mata. Free kick for Brighton. This will be the last action of the game. So maybe one more challenge for Dean Henderson to try and keep this clean sheet. Everton 4, West Ham 1. Dominic Calvert-Lewin hat-trick again. Brighton have decided to take the free kick short and quickly. They've worked the ball over to the right-hand side of the pitch. That's that for tonight. So Manchester United visit the South Coast again, come away with the win again. It was 3-2 in the Premier League on Saturday. It was 3-0 in the Carabao Cup this evening. Scott McTominay giving them the lead with the header just before half-time. Juan Mata, who was the star of the show really for Manchester United, getting the second, and Paul Pogba with a big smile on his face after his free kick was deflected in for the third. Manchester United comfortable in the end, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Gunnar will be absolutely...
Alright guys, that is that. And if you guys did like the stream, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Or we'll be live tomorrow with Liverpool v Arsenal. So links, I will put the link in the description below. I'll do that right now for you guys. Bear with me a sec. Alright, let me just do that real quick before we end the stream. Next. Alright, it's under the next stream, guys. Links in the description. I will see you all tomorrow for Liverpool v Arsenal. And yeah, have a wonderful night, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star.